I might mention that through our dedication and hard work, Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful has been recognized as a Silver Star member of Keep Texas Beautiful for 2 years in a row. This distinction we proudly earned and are proud to be recognized for it. We are a standalone entity in the city, self-funded, and receive no financial support from the city. All operating funds are generated by activities planned by and performed by all volunteer committee members. These include yard sales, plant sales, limited donations, and raffles. Our raffle at the Catfish Festival on May 10th resulted in netting our committee $690 from over 25 donors who contributed $2,700 in prizes and gift certificates. Together with West Tawakoni EDC, we've raised enough funds to purchase 2 beautiful city entrance signs from Holt Custom Stoneworks in Emory. We are currently waiting on permission from private landowners to place these signs. All committees and boards of the city were invited on March 27th, 2025 to attend a workshop, and I was the only committee member, committee chair that attended and prepared information for council. I reminded everyone of our events throughout the year as well as the 4 community-wide cleanups.
Thank you. Still have a minute to spare. You still have a minute to spare.
Oh, well.
Don't encourage her.
All right. I didn't have any other citizens input unless somebody did. Where'd this one come from? It wasn't there a while ago. Who brought that?
I have one that says the hand, it's not about the.
Okay, yours. Okay, yeah, yours is non-agenda related.
Yes.
So we don't have any other related to the agenda, right? That's gonna take us to number 6, consent agenda items. Did everybody get those and was able to go through those? I know we had some. What's this in our packet?
That was not, the gold was not.
Oh, goals. I seen public works, so I thought public works director report. My bad.
Now, the director's report was, we did get the PD report put in today and the court reports, the cash and the officer report put into the Dropbox this morning when I received those.
Anybody have any questions about consent agenda items? I would pretty much pair this into your consent agenda items essentially. In a way, I mean, it's not really on our agenda, but I mean, it would follow the same play.
Make a motion then?
Second.
James made the motion,
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through F.
and Greg seconded.
Had to go to Randy, Greg Sprinkle.
Yes.
Motion passed. Okay. That takes us to item A. 7A in our old business. Discussion and action to approve presentation with Jose Province 613 Wild Valley would like to address the council and request an extension regarding home occupation. Alright, oh, there he is. I didn't see him. Sir, would you care to stand and speak to the council? You can just lay it there if you want to.
Okay. Hello, Your Honor, I'm Jose Prado. Then we spoke to y'all last time about, I guess we're not having a little, this, I don't know how we're doing, like, supposed to I'm running the business, right? But it seemed like to me, it seemed like y'all make it seem like it's commercial business, like a big business. It's just, I just started my business, Your Honor. I don't know. I don't know what what should I do? What do y'all think I should do? I'm not the only one. in town that has a business just like me, you know. I mean, I'm not pointing fingers, but you know, it's just to me, I feel like I'm more like a threat to everybody, you know. That's how I feel, you know. But you know, I mean, there's a lot of other guys that been in business longer than I have, and I just started my business about 3.5 years, 4 years, and it seemed like you know I want to grow, but it seemed like it's always something, you know. I mean, I was wondering if you can help me out on this matter, you know, what we can do.
Is everybody aware of the situation that what we're talking about?
I drove by there the other day, and the roads are smooth, and the trucks are clean, and parked all nice, everything was clean, there weren't concrete or stuff everywhere. That's my observation. Did you guys fix the road, or you do that? Or?
I mean, I don't mind. There's a few potholes. Matter of fact, I just went and buy a Bobcat this morning. You know, I'm more welcome. You know, if it's okay with y'all for me to fix those potholes, I mean, I'm more welcome to fix them for make it look nice and pretty. I mean, the road that we always take in there, go to park at the house. You know, we have a yard. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, there's another one. I don't know what street name it is, but it's on another one. It's pretty bad, and we don't even go on that road. But the road that we take, you know, there's a couple of potholes that has been there for a while. I mean, the reason I haven't fixed them because I want to have the city their approval that I'm okay to fix them. You know, I just don't want to go in there and fix them myself. If if that's okay with y'all, I don't mind fixing them. You know, I mean, it's not like we come in and out. You know, I mean, he's seen them. Everything looks nice, nice clean trucks, and the yard is always nice and clean. You know, I mean, I don't know if you ever passed by my house, but he's just said it. You know, he's been. It ain't like you have junk everywhere. Everything is supposed to be where it needs to be. You know, it's nice and clean. I mean, she's been in my house before. You know, with the was it a fire marshal or something like that? They okayed it. You know, they didn't have a problem with it. So there was a couple things that we were supposed to get. You know, but it wasn't major things. So it's just minor things. So it ain't like something big. So we got like 30 days to get those little things fixed up. You know.
So I've been by there as well. Um, and I think it's more the fact of the early mornings. I mean, because I've gotten calls and messages from different citizens throughout town. It's the early mornings, and it's a big truck. Truck's not super quiet. That's the kind of calls that I'm getting, and I understand that. And I understand that. At the end of the day,
I think for me, it's how do we apply the ordinance fairly across the city, right? If we make an exception for your dump truck business in your neighborhood, what do we say to the next business that wants to have their whatever business in their neighborhood, and what kind of ordinances, what are we going to be able to support as a city if we don't apply the ordinances fairly across the city, right? So if the ordinance says you can't operate a business out from your home, then we have to enforce that across the entire city to every citizen.
What does it say about parking at your home?
I don't know. I don't know what the actual ordinance is.
I'm sorry. I don't think there's. I did little research. I don't think there's none of them. You know. I mean, but I could be wrong.
We'll just go grab the occupation ordinance real quick.
you can.
I mean, it would seem fair to me that we apply that across the board.
I'll go grab it real quick.
Do you have any intention of growing large enough to move outside of your home?
Well, matter of fact, I do, sir. But um, just not right now. But I will. But I'm definitely gonna have to find me another spot. Bigger spot. But yes, sir. I'm looking. Forward to find some land. Where I can have. You know, stay away from everybody. Cause like you say, I mean, I get it. I mean,
There is one house on the road, but I think it looked empty to me.
there's nobody living in the house.
but it's a rock road all the way in.
Matter of fact, I talked to the neighbors around that area where we in it now. I mean, there's only two of them that don't have a problem with it, you know. I mean, I said I've been there almost 4 years. And the only person that brought it up, it was that the house is empty, been empty for about, I don't know, about a year or so. He doesn't live there. He rents the house, you know. He like he started, bringing this up and trying to sue me for $40,000 and stuff like that. That was the guy that brought it up to the city, you know. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
So did you get a citation or something? What is it?
No, sir.
No, the ordinance doesn't really support or have any citations or any way of truly enforcing the ordinance. So, I mean, the ordinance, I'll be honest with you, the ordinance was kind of poorly written. So therefore, for the city, there's not a whole lot that this ordinance can carry as far as weight or any kind of fines or anything in that measure. So, I mean, at this moment,
We do carry overweight permits, you know. There's the streets that only trucks allow so much, but, we never go in there loaded or anything like that, but we do pay, overweight permits every month for the trucks that we have.
yeah, for your state roads.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a state permit. I mean, the city doesn't benefit from that permit, so to speak. It's just when you're on the state highways. Once you get on 276, then yes, that's what that permit's for.
So does the city get taxes for the business?
I believe so, yeah, because it's attached to where the business is, like the insurance wise and stuff like that. I said, I don't mind paying a fee or whatever you want me to do, I don't mind helping the city out, I don't. I even brought it up to this young lady a while back. It's like, hey, is there anything that I can help? I never have the time to come do community service, but if there anything, I'm here to help out, I'm not here to just, just, just sit around, I want to help out, but, I guess, it's just the time, went by and then I never heard anything from them.
So on your extension, is there a time frame?
Well, I was hoping, maybe this year, and next year, probably beginning next year, move everything out, like the trucks and stuff like that, probably just get some land and build a house and, sell the house that I have and the land. But yeah, definitely, sir.
So give me that number.
I would say probably about January, sir. It should
January of 26?
probably like the middle of January and stuff like that, where I should be able to, move on.
So 6 months.
So 6
Yeah.
months, that's why I'm asking this, because it just says extension, it doesn't say,
Yeah.
Because it seems like we've had this conversation 2 or 3 times in the last 3 or 4 months. And, if we're gonna make the exception and do the extension and say, let's do it, and let's put a time date on it. Put a date on it, and then, if we need to revisit it at that time, then we can revisit it, but rather than,
I think you should probably drive over there and just take a look at it.
I've been there.
first.
If anybody wants to look, I've got a video out there.
I went and looked. My biggest concern was the diesel tank. And they said the fire marshal was fine with it, so he's fine with it, I am. He knows more about fire than me. So you're saying January of 2026, which is 7 months from now.
Yes, sir.
Or Shannon, she just went and printed all that.
I might find another spot before the end.
Right, but so what you're asking for is an extension to January of 2026. Under the current
That tells you guys that the council has to determine it.
Well, and like she's saying, it pretty much the way the ordinance is written, and it puts it in the council's hands, right? So
Smoke, glare,
Well,
noise,
because
dust, vibration,
It
fire hazard.
basically says that the Board of Adjustments has to make the decisions on this. And in lieu of a Board of Adjustments, which we don't have, then the council is the board that decides. So I gave you both of those.
Yeah, it's definitely in the council's hands. There's no, I guess what I was saying, there's no written rules of fines or any structure of fines that can be imposed
Not that I found.
for this.
One is on there discussing, in January something for a potentially electric murder.
I remember you and I going through this. I knew that they probably didn't have it.
Well, it seems to me that we're working on land use. And this request is to do something that's contrary to what we're trying to put together. While, I understand the desire to keep the business there for fence purposes and whatnot, it just seems contrary to what we're trying to do.
Do you have any suggestions, or you just conversating?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm just kind of trying to get some thoughts out there. I would not be happy if I had property in that neighborhood. I would not be pleased with that at all, even though it is well contained.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad, it's just out of place. Does that make sense? I mean, it's,
I understand.
you don't think about big commercial trucks and diesel tanks and maybe whatever else, right? You don't think about that being in a neighborhood. And I think that's what most people's gripe is. And quite honestly, our ordinance does not support that. But again, our ordinance doesn't really give any kind of fines or layouts of anything that can be imposed upon you. Now, the council can make a decision because that's kind of where the ordinance points everything and puts everything in the council's hands. That's where it puts it. And if the council was to make any kind of motions, suggestions, or votes on something, then that's what we would have to do.
What does it say about the parking of the trucks in the ordinance?
It doesn't, it just lays out, so some of the things that you look at, figure out if this home occupation violates this is increased traffic. It limits the number of employees that can come to the house, increased utilities, increased trash, it lays all of those out in the ordinance. That's what you use to base the home occupation off of. So some home occupations don't violate that, and some do.
You're saying that you'll move out your trucks out by January, right?
Yeah, by the fact, Major, when I first bought the house, on the contract that we bought the house, they said that, I was allowed to have, it didn't literally Pacific trucks, but it literally Pacific, I was allowed by the city to have, truck in the, on that land. But, this is 3.5 years
That
ago.
house that's in front of the neighborhood, they got a bunch of cars there. Sure, they always have a bunch of cars there too.
I believe so, but I said, I keep it to
Several
myself.
houses with a lot of cars, but we don't at this time have a parking ordinance. It's something that would come with our new stuff. We have an ordinance regarding vehicles needing to be registered and in legal operating condition.
In the council's hands.
Maybe y'all want to think about it.
I am thinking about it.
I said, I'm not here to destroy, your streets or anything like that. If y'all want to ever see me driving from 276 to the yard, guarantee we're driving 5 miles per hour. There is my guys doesn't drive no more than 6 miles per hour. I mean, we're barely just rolling, especially if we got dust streets that, when it doesn't rain, it's so dusty. I mean, we barely, you know. I mean, if there's anything that I'm on my end, I'm willing to help the city out. I'm here. I even, what was that guy that was before that? What was there's a guy on the city that was over the city? I even brought it to him like, hey, if you ever need some rock, anything like that for the city, I'm here to
That's
help.
gonna be our former
Yeah.
public works director.
Like I said, I mean, maybe we can use some of my equipment to do a little bit of, community service as long as I'm there until a period of time, I mean, I'm okay with it.
So I make a motion that we make the exception until January 31st of 2026. And at that time, you will need to move out.
That's fine.
So move the trucks out.
Yeah, you can stay living there. But the business needs to move to a commercial facility.
Yeah. And definitely if I,
To me, that seems like a fair compromise between where you are today and where you want to be in the future. And where we want to be in the future with the land use.
I understand.
Who owns the properties around there? Carlton, you?
I don't know. I don't.
There's
What was the
a,
question?
The property that's supposed to be the property.
there is empty properties, so if you're looking at his house from the street, on the right-hand side, there's a rental, which is the corner house. Then there's 2 or 3 vacant properties, and then there's another house. And then the street behind him, on the other side of the street, there's a house. The street in front of him, on the other side, there's houses being
There's
built
growth.
and some current there. We do have a lot of
Growth coming in that area. Some, I think, of which we'll be talking about later in the agenda. Yes.
So was that a motion you were making?
I made a motion.
I'll second it.
So you have a motion, you have a second. We have votes on that motion.
I think we need to redo it in January.
Are you abstaining? Okay.
I am not in
Not in favor?
favor. No, I think it needs to be, it's just contrary to what we're trying to do.
So are you voting yes for the motion? Of 6 months? 6 months, then are you voting no for the motion?
So what, let me ask a question, so, to answer, so, what happens if he doesn't move?
Fair question.
We'll be back here talking and the council would have to discuss it because that's where the ordinance puts this. The ordinance puts this in the council's hands to make suggestions or retributions.
Yeah, if that's a hard line at January, I'm along with
I use January 31st as the date.
So 1 in favor, 2
Yes.
in favor, 3 in favor, so motion's 3-1. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Can I be dismissed, sir?
Yes. have a
Thanks.
good evening.
Thank you.
All right, that takes us to old business 7D, discussion and action, update on public works director position. What do y'all think? We want to sit right here and talk about this, any questions, any updates anybody's wanting?
I think we have a situation that makes it really difficult for us to judge JD's performance without giving him the title and the authority of the director. We had talked about, I'm not going to go there because of something that was what we talked about in executive session. We were talking about the pay. We'll keep that as that way. But I think he needs to have the full authority. And then, and he's given us goals, and we can look at those goals, and if he's achieving it, that's fine. If he's not, then we have a decision to make. But without the full authority, because he's been told explicitly that he's not to discipline employees, and I don't see how he can do his job without that.
Anybody have any other questions? Or?
I agree with that.
Make a
So,
motion.
I got a question. So do you feel like, what do you feel like you've accomplished this with being in the position?
I've accomplished everything you've asked me to.
Just to share. I'm saying to share with the citizens, share with the folks that are here tonight. I mean, I'm saying, what wins do you feel like that you would like to scream from the mountaintops?
Well, I've cut down on overtime.
Right.
I've had to go on roads, well, weather permitted, machine permitted. I've had to go on roads every day. I've been keeping those at. We're getting better with our meters. I now have them going in and putting work orders for meters, start time and end time on each work order, so we can track time.
How are we doing with our equipment, trucks and equipment, as far as keeping them up to date?
Well, they're good, but I do want to say that I only have 2 trucks with air conditioner.
Okay.
But our trucks are running the best they can.
Are they all up to date, like legal?
Yeah.
Sure about that?
Positive. I know. I'm positive.
Okay. And I'm just poking fun at you, you know that's how I am. One other thing I would ask is try to get everybody to pay attention to trailers.
Okay.
You know, I know the one that's been a sticker in our side forever is the jet machine. You know, the lights work 2 or 3 months out of the year. So I would make that a hot point for you, for your guys. And mainly for me is when they get an after hours call with that jet machine, you know, you just got a big old trailer, dark colored trailer, and your guys are standing there.
Yeah.
Behind that trailer. So, I mean, I get it. Some people might think that even a trailer light that's flashing isn't much, but it's a lot at that time. So I would ask that if you would try to make that important for you to drive it to the guys and say, look, I mean, most anybody that's been around trailers very long, I know there's probably a handful of you guys, or at least 2 to 3 that can fix the lights on a trailer. Mm-hmm. So I would try to make that a hot point, because our guys are going out, you know, on weekends and nights sometimes with that jet machine, and there's no lights on. You know, there's 2 things we would hate to happen: is somebody be standing behind it and a car run into it, or just a car run into it, right? When they're going to turn back into the water plant to go put it up, or the sewer plant, wherever.
Yeah, we'd be
you know, last thing we want to do is have somebody in accident. So let's try to make that a hot point. Is all that I would ask. But yeah, I mean, I wanted you to share some wins, because that gets things out that you've done. And I'll say, you know, working on the roads that's a win. Keep that going. Keep increasing that. You know, if it's 5 potholes today and 7 tomorrow, and then 8 the next day, then we're making progress, and we'll start moving mountains, so to speak.
The reason I focus on roads so hard, that's been our main complaint for I don't know how long.
It's the biggest thing in this city that citizens can see, feel, touch, and smell. Mm-hmm. Right? So if you think about it that way, they can see our water, they can smell our water, they can taste our water, right? But some of them have gotten to the point where they say they don't like our water and they don't drink it. But I got it in this cup every day, all day, unless I'm away from home and I can't fill it up at home. But that's everybody's own judgment. But everybody travels the streets. Not everybody drinks our water, right? So just to think about it. But just say again, I do drink our water. My whole family does. Even when we got boil water notices, because I don't care about the dirt in our water, because that's all it is. It's dirt from a leak down the way. Anyway. Okay, thank you.
JD, I think you also sold yourself short. You also got your Class A, or you got your sewer license or water license and sewer
I got my
license.
water license.
You got your water license, sewer license, did a management training class that we asked you to take. I mean, you did also the other things that we asked you to do because we gave you a position, and you've accomplished those as well. And you may not think of those as being, you know, as important to the rest of the citizens, but they are important to the council that you're showing the initiative and following through on the things that we ask of, right? So absolutely, we're always going to ask of you to fix the streets, but we've also asked of you to do other things that are not necessarily, they're required for your job, but they're not part of your job, and you've done a really good job doing those, so thank you.
I've also got 2 of us signed up for pump and motor class.
Okay, good.
And
Did
it's
we
in
get
July.
did we get a spare pump from last month's meeting?
No.
Not yet?
Yeah, they're quoting me. They're sending me a quote on Thursday.
What about rebuilding any that we have on the ground?
I asked him that. He said it's better to get a new one. But I'll discuss what we have on the ground on the next.
Can you and I partner up on that? I can try to help you facilitate, maybe trying to get some rebuilt.
Yeah.
If we get a chance, let's get together on that. I would like to see us try to get some rebuilt, because I know you can rebuild.
Yeah, he said you can rebuild them. It's just not much of a difference
How many
price wise.
How many horsepower is it?
It depends on which one you're looking at. They're not all the same.
No, the one you're talking about that you're going to get a new one. The one you're talking, the one that can be rebuilt.
It's 7 horsepower.
7? Very small.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anybody else?
I don't have anything else.
I'll make a motion that we officially make JD the working director.
You got a second?
Second.
Let's go.
Greg Sprinkle.
Joe Shank.
You got all of them? Cool. Thank you, JD. Well, C was discussion and action to update lift station pumps and parts. I think we covered that.
I do got some on it.
You got some more?
Yeah, there's several that we thought were just bad pumps.
Yeah.
That was not the case. They just need new gaskets, new.
So with some of that running around and cleaning things out that Kevin was doing when he came up and shared us those pictures, did that help?
Yeah, that helps tremendously actually, because that not having that clean puts a lot of wear and tear on them. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like hauling the bed of your truck or unloaded down versus empty.
Yeah, but I got a list of everything we needed for each pump, and I bought what I could, had to order the rest. So we got quite a few of them that we can just fix.
Good. Maintenance is key on keeping anything up, including ourselves. I mean, just saying. Sometimes we all learn the hard way, right? Right, if it's our bodies or our cars or our houses. Okay. So that's a good update. I don't think there's anything to vote on to discuss that, but thank you for that information. Let's try to keep moving forward on the pumps and stuff. That's something that's a headache for y'all when they go down. You don't have one or whatever. Okay, so we'll go to new business. Discussion and action to keep West Walker beautiful cleanup dates and financial impact on the city. Anybody got anything on this?
I do.
Kick it off.
So it was kind of brought to our attention that we have only so many dumpsters that we get a year. We get 4 free per our contract. We've been doing 4 cleanup dates, or keep us long to be able to do 4 cleanup dates a year using 4 to 5 dumpsters each time. There's a pretty significant financial impact that I wanted to kind of make light of. We're looking at about $500 a dumpster that the city is paying to have those dumped. Of course, the first one usually takes our 4, that's free for the year, then the other 3 are looking close to around $8,000. plus or minus a few, they don't always use them. So I wanted to kind of get an idea as how we want to address that for the future, or if we want to still maintain the 4 or adjust those times, the dates. And plus, I don't have the fall dates. I don't know if you guys have the fall
We
dates
do
yet.
not, no.
So you're saying overall throughout the whole year, it's $8,000 back?
Right, I think the price went up recently.
A
lot.
2 years ago, it started creeping up, and I brought it up to former public works director that instead of the whatever contract amount we had, it had gone up to about $500. We spend approximately over $25,000 in trash, and a lot of that's in dumpsters. We don't take in that extra money.
Probably time to start looking for some other quotes.
So I'm glad you said that, because I believe if my research is correct, that the sanitation solutions contract ends in October. I think we need to immediately have alternative trash options. One of the things that bothers me is paying $8 a week for a trash can for the last 14 years at my house. I've for $8 for 14 years, I've bought that trash can 27 times. And, there's got to be a better way than that.
I think they all charge their trash.
They may, but that's something we can negotiate in the contract is, look, after they've paid for the cost of the trash can, you no longer get to collect that money unless they need to replace it. That's just simple negotiation. This is a good contract for whatever trash company comes in. How do we put that in? I make a motion that we bring in, I don't know how we do this, but I make a motion we bring in alternative trash companies to look at alternatives because of the cost of the dumpsters and the cost to the city for sanitation.
That's not an agenda item, but we could definitely discuss reaching out to them and making it an agenda item.
I would love to reach out.
Yeah.
I would love to reach out and have an agenda item in the future on that item.
I mean, it's close, it's talking about cleanup, it is talking about trash.
And it is talking about the dumpsters that we're paying for with West Tawakoni.
It's really good for
We
budget.
stray.
It's good for budget.
Okay. You got note of that?
Who's
Phone
doing
We're
that?
working on it.
It's already in progress.
Yeah, it's already in progress.
Your phone working on your desk still? Okay, just asking for a friend, okay.
May I address the council about the dumpsters and cleanups?
I would say since you're with Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful, that would not be a problem.
Okay, thank you. Hello again, everybody. I just want to read you our mission statement for Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful. The purpose of the organization shall be charitable and educational to promote the Keep Texas Beautiful program of litter prevention, beautification, and community improvement to minimize the impact of solid waste in the West Tawakoni Water Service area and to empower individuals to take responsibility in these areas of their homes and properties. And we just recently had some cleanups, as y'all know. We feel like it's a positive way to motivate the citizens to clean up around their properties at no cost to them. The mayor, city council, and council at the time elected to use city funds to provide the dumpsters and to pay a city public works employee to support these cleanups by using a tractor, backhoe, what have you, to load and crush items in dumpster. Our Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful volunteers man the gates, check IDs to ensure residents live in the city water service area, and direct traffic as necessary. Many times we've had to close the cleanups before noon when dumpsters were already full. We pay to have signs prepared for the cleanups and for when we have to shut down early. We also give handouts such as pins, flower seeds, vegetable seeds, and boat key rings as participation thank yous. 4 annual cleanups have been supported by each mayor and council since we started in 2014. We currently do 2 cleanups in the spring and 2 in the fall. April 26th, we held the first spring cleanup with 7 volunteers, 2 public works employees. That day we had 22 trucks, 10 trailers, 5 cars, and one tractor loading trash into 6 dumpsters. We were there from 7:30 to noon. Then last week, last Saturday, this past Saturday, we held the last spring cleanup and had 3 volunteers and 1 public works employee. That day we had 16 trucks, 6 trailers, 0 cars, and 0 tractors. The gates opened at 7:30 and closed at 11:30 when there was no further activity. Because of the response and turnout, these free cleanups provide our citizens the rewards of a cleaner city far exceed the cost of the dumpsters, in our opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, I think you were just giving the information to make sure everybody knew the financial impact. Does anybody have any questions or anything on that? Or any actions anybody wants to take? Input? Anything? Words?
Thank you for doing a good job.
Thank you, James.
So I'm going to say there's no action to be taken on this, so we're going to slide right by it. It's going to lay here on the table. Unless somebody tells me otherwise, we're going to move on to 8B. Discussion and action to keep West Walking Beautiful's meeting requirements. I'm the city council. I think we're talking about the video there. Yeah. Because I mean, all the other boards in our city are meeting here at the city hall. I think Keep West Walking Beautiful is as well. And I think this is talking about the video, and maybe the video is viewed differently now than it was. And this all sort of came about, if we all remember, during COVID, is kind of when this all took off. And unfortunately, we've not shaken very much things that happened during COVID. Some things, though, actually, you know, even myself, as bad as I hate to say it, the videos probably are a good thing because it gives citizens that aren't able to get out and about to come out and participate and or see. But it also gives people the time at a later time, because there may be somebody's having to work right now. Maybe they're working second shift, third shift, whatever, and they can watch it tomorrow to get up to date with what happened. So I think that's why this was brought up, because if I'm not mistaken, it's been said that they weren't going to do the video or something like that during those meetings. I mean, I do feel that disappointing and kind of discouraging to know that, because there are citizens probably that would like to hear y'all's meetings just like they want to hear our meetings, and or P&Z or any other board or commission that wants to meet in the city, EDC as well. So, I mean, I think that's...
I can address that as well.
That's fine.
Because we're governed by Keep Texas Beautiful. We're a standalone entity. We're not supported by the city. We receive no financial support. The support offered and supported by the city pertains to the 4 city-wide cleanups. In those efforts, we volunteer to work with and support the city to provide these free cleanups for its citizens. We do provide City Hall with minutes from our meetings and agendas as requested to be posted on the bulletin board and the city website. Unfortunately, only a few citizens and city council members attend any of our meetings. We reached out to our community service manager at Keep Texas Beautiful regarding live broadcasts of our meetings. We were told that their affiliates, such as Keep West Walking Beautiful, do not have the same rules and requirements as city government. All our reporting, which is throughout the year, goes directly to the state of Texas and Keep Texas Beautiful. Therefore, we are not required to broadcast our meetings for Keep Texas Beautiful standards.
Can I ask what has changed now between what has changed 3 years ago when y'all were using the same video that everybody else was during the meetings?
We never had a video. Never had a video. Ever.
Were we not having people that were coming up and unlocking and doing the video? No?
They unlocked the door for us, but we never had a
video. And so in what you were saying there, if I heard you correctly, please correct me if misspeak. But the city doesn't help besides the trash cleanups in any financial way, correct?
No.
Who handles your bank statements and all that stuff and posts your meetings on?
Well, see, that's again another issue.
Well,
We really,
I'm just asking who does
well, they do that,
And the
but we
city-
really don't have to have the city involved in our bank account and our stuff.
Okay.
From what I understand from Keep Texas Beautiful. We are standalone is what she's told me. So I don't know, we don't necessarily have to meet here from what I understand from
I'm
them.
only asking because I'm not sure where the separation is coming from. I can, you know, I'm pretty good at putting my foot in my own mouth. I can tell you that I feel like it's coming from the time of where the signs were made, and apparently the city didn't somehow make it happen to where the signs were able to be placed where they were desired to be placed. Which, but all I'm saying is this is on the agenda because Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful is a part of West Tawakoni because the name is even in the name. I mean, in the name, right? The city's name is in the name of the entity or the group. So, I mean, would we not want people in our city to be able to see your meetings and be up to date or know? Because during your meetings, I'm sure y'all talk about happenings, plant sales, cleanups, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, it's a free advertisement, right? Because there are a lot of people that tune into the channel and listen to this meeting and all other meetings because I hear about some of the other meetings and our meeting, of course, because people have watched that channel. So, I mean, that's all. I think that's all the reason why it was brought up. Does anybody else have any other questions about Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful being broadcasted just like EDC or we are or P&Z? I mean, what's everybody's take on that?
Mary, I'm just not sure why you don't want it to be. I mean, I don't quite understand. Because
Well,
I attended the Keep West
You did?
Tawakoni meeting the other night, and I mean, I sat in the back of the room and it was videoed. Now,
no, it was not.
yeah, it was. It had an issue with the that was P and Z. Oh, sorry, sorry. I went to P and Z as well.
Oh, okay.
And so,
No, it didn't. But I don't have necessarily an objection to that. My objection is that we don't get the support that we would love to have from the city. From council, from the mayor, from the city employees. We appreciate the public works, coming into our aid for different things. But, we don't have people coming to our meetings in person. I don't know about the other committees if they have people come to their meetings, but we never, hardly ever have anybody attend. Debbie Carey has been to a couple of our meetings. Robin and Leon have been when they were on city council. And Greg, of course. And, we just don't have good support system.
Is coming to the meeting the gauge of support that you're saying?
Pardon?
Is coming to the meeting your gauge of support that you're saying?
No.
I guess I'm not.
I would think that videoing would help that because
You
people
think?
would, yeah, because I think people would be able to see what the Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful group does when they're in a meeting. And like the other night when I attended that purely because I wanted to come listen to what you had to say about a specific planning and zone or a specific topic on the Saturday event. But to me, the more opportunities you have to put Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful in front of people, whether it's through a website or whether it's through a meeting that's online or for whatever reason you have to say Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful in front of them, you're going to get more support and more volunteers, more activity because it's much more known about than if it seems like you meet once a month and the only way that anybody finds out about the meeting is by reading the Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful page. I think you have a better chance of promoting yourself to get more volunteers later if you do video.
You can try it out a few times. See how it goes.
I don't know. I guess I was confused because I knew that the city does have hand in the financials as far as the bank. Your minutes are in our consent agenda items. I mean, there's all these things that, I guess that's where I was confused. And again, I was to echo what Greg was saying. Whether any of us like it or not, even the city sitting here in the city council, we're running a business, right? Y'all's is a business. It has a business-minded setting. It may not be running a business for profit of making millions, but it's running a business of making things beautiful. Y'all's business is to make things beautiful, right? So what I'm saying, I think what Greg is saying, whether it's Facebook, which y'all use Facebook, or it's a YouTube channel that is your once a month meeting, it's advertisement. Because how do we know that it's not some multi-millionaire that somehow tunes into this YouTube channel and says, you know what? That's my one right there. Keep West Farming beautiful. But if it's not there for them to view, it's not there for them to view. I'm just saying, and that sounds wild, but there's people that are sitting here in the audience tonight that is can tell you that they see people that deal with YouTube and deal with social media that has happened. Where
Well, we have 4 members, so they can speak what they think.
Is that okay if I talk? Is that okay if I talk?
you're on the agenda.
I feel, Mary, like we don't promote ourselves enough and we don't put ourselves out there to get the volunteers that we need. And I think, I don't know, I have to agree with Greg. I mean, I'm just pretend like I'm not married to him. I have to agree with him. I do that all the time. I have to agree with him that if it's not out there, and Kevin, then people can't see it. I really do, and James, I like your idea. Give it a shot and see, what happens. We don't know until we do it. And then would we have the option to remove that option if we didn't like it?
Just be prepared for what the citizens say. City
We don't want to
city
see
did that once with
and hear
Facebook.
the negativity that goes on. There's a lot of negativity in this.
Yeah, but I think there's also a lot of positivity too.
And
And we should be part of that.
I promise you, there's negativity in every city. You just see it here because it's where you live.
And it's
I'm
small.
just saying.
Well, I think that one of the reasons this sort of happened the way it did was we came to our last meeting, and I don't remember which employee it was, but the first thing they said, we have been married, I mean, they said, gotta turn on the cameras and get y'all's microphones out there, because we're gonna video it. No, it's out of the clear blue, we do nothing about it.
No,
So that's what put us over the fence immediately.
Okay.
I mean, advance warning would be great. Hey,
Yeah.
going forward, we're gonna be broadcasting all your meetings, fine, but let us know about it.
Anybody else got anything? Is there any kind of motion to be made here? Or we're talking about them being on video or not on video and stuff.
well, we'll do whatever you want us to do.
Mary, I would like for you to be on video so that I can watch when I'm not able to attend.
Same. I think you'll help get volunteers too.
Social media is all about engagement.
Chad, how hard it is.
Is somebody making a motion?
I make a motion that they videotape their meeting.
I second that. Judge Hogan.
Greg Sprinkle.
Yes.
You got all that?
And there will be somebody here that'll do this, because we're not in our office.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll have somebody there each time.
Thank y'all so much. All right, so that's gonna take us to item 8C. Discussion and action on presentations from Rick Doyle from Underground Systems regarding wireless meters. There he is. Sorry, it took us a while to get there.
Oh, that's all right. I'd like to thank the city council, JD, for inviting me to
He said that.
participate. What I'm gonna show y'all tonight is something that is very popular within the water industry. This is some literature we have on meters and the equipment that go along with this. And I think JD's gonna, I'll give you one of these also. Okay. Something that is very popular within the water industry today that's making it a lot easier for us to work within, because water's become a very expensive item. And within the city, labor has become a very intense item. So what we do with AMR meters, it allows, instead of everybody being on deck to read meters, it gives the city the ability for one person to read the water meters. This cuts his labor down. It applies to the fact that he can now split his crews to do what they need to do without having everybody on deck to read meters. The radio read meter that Master Meter has is a wireless, antennaless system that looks like an ordinary meter. There's no wires to cut. It gives us the ability to drive by and read the meters. The range on these meters are 250 feet up to 1,500 feet. So, JD, about how long does it take y'all to read meters?
About a week and a half.
About a week and a half. This will cut down one person. You could probably read your meters in less than 2 days. And the information that is gathered by these meters is then transferred by web-based into your billing computers, which gives you the ability to process quicker and to get the citizens their water bills on a timely basis. A lot of times we understand that in doing this, it helps the citizens also. The ability of this meter, we can go in what's called data log this meter. When somebody has a question on their water bill about the usage, we can go back 4,000 reads in the memory chip within this meter. It goes back roughly 5 months. Most of the time, we're doing 45 days, just the last previous read. And then we can show the citizens when the water was used, not where it went, but when it went through the meter. And that gives them a more data package that they can work with. Now, it's not something we do every month. It's just when there is a question on a water bill that we have this ability to data log. Also within these things, if a customer has a leak, if the meter runs continuously for 24 hours, it sets off an alarm when they go by and read the meters. It says we have a possible leak. It could be a commode just running, because that usage right there is continuous all day long. So it tells us this. And also, if they've had a major leak, we can do that also. So this is the easiest system to work with. There are more advanced systems out there, but their infrastructure is so much more. This is basically, we put the meter in, we can go read the meters, drive-by situation. We don't have to go in front of every meter. You may go down one street and read 2 streets over. That's the reason it's so much quicker. And this technology has been around for 20 years. So it's a proven technology. You are surrounded by systems that have this. Quinlan's got it, Emory's got it, East Tawakoni's got it. Cash Water has this system. So it's not new. It is something that's been out there for a very long time. And so we work with our cities very closely. JD, I've worked with him before. Daniel Jacks, I've worked with him on this system, so he's familiar with it. So what it does, it allows the city to cut down on their labor, their
fuel costs on their vehicles, because when you're reading meters, you're stopping and going, the wear and tear on the vehicles, which that came up earlier. So we're trying to cut down on the amount of expense the city is putting out there to do a lot of things. And if we can cut that cost for the city, that's what this type of system does. It allows the city to bring in the revenue without expending a lot more revenue. So we have programs, I think I sent you a quote on it. I've got it on my phone. It's a starter package. It gets us started. You don't have to buy it all at one time. We stock these meters in Longview, Texas, and we can provide backup material. I'm the backup guy for them. They call me. I help them on the hardware. Master Meter is located in Mansfield, Texas. So they're a Texas-based company. It is an Israeli company. The electronics is made by the Israelis. And that's a Master Meter has been around for 50 years. And originally they were located in Longview, Texas. But due to they're a worldwide company now, we're actually based out of Mansfield. So as I say, customer support, you're talking to people in Mansfield, Texas. And so that makes it a lot easier. So when we got to talk to somebody about software, billing software, y'all are who?
Funview.
Okay. Most of your billing software, I'm not familiar with them, but they probably have within their system the ability to import, export files.
Yes, they do, and they have several AMR capabilities. We'd have to communicate
Yeah.
and get the software to talk to each other.
Yeah, my company, Master Meter, and as I say, I'm a distributor for them. I'm underground utility supply. We supply pipe, valves, fittings, fire hydrants, everything else. This is just another product that we handle. But you will deal directly with the Mansfield people on the software, and they have that ability to log onto your system. The new Harmony Encore software, they can see exactly what you're seeing. So when they help you there. And the integration of, all we're doing is importing a file, once you read the meters, right into your billing software. So the sheets that I have given you, this is the sheet on the meter, of course, right here, where it gives you the specs on the meter. The read equipment is basically a black carrying case that has a Panasonic 58 laptop in it with an encoder device that brings the signal in. This case is basically a gun case that is 18 inches by about 10 inches by 12 inches. And the computer just sits in it. We take a magnetic mount antenna, we put it on top of the truck, we plug in the power source. He brings up the route on the computer, hits start radio. That's it. They drive around and read the system. There's none of this on a constant deal. It's got features built into it. We use Google Earth as our mapping program. Everybody's familiar with Google Earth, which allows us to chart the read of the truck as it goes through. Some people use it, some people don't. They like just the chart. I want to see the meter being read. The whole idea behind it is get the meters read, get the readings into you so we can get the bills done. And as I say, that's the carrying case itself. The other device, picture, is the RF receiver. It is a small box that's underneath the laptop. It receives a signal. The way it works, the system will send the EID number, which every meter is unique. It has an EID number. It transmits this number and this reading right here. Now, it is electronics. One of the things that customers like about this particular unit, if the radio signals fail, if the transmitter fails, and they have to go out and read it manually, it's an ordinary meter. It's not digital, it's an analog. So that's our fail-safe right there. And then at that point, we pop the pin out, this comes off, and it puts back a new one on.
So we got quite a few master meters in the ground already. We just buy the top.
Retrofit, yes. The only thing we have to know is if the meters are not 091 and below, like an 088. What I'm talking about is this number right here.
Yeah.
We have to do what is called a non-unified unit. About 8 years ago, they decided to put a larger magnet. Every meter, magnetic meter now, every meter is magnetically connected. Every meter. So we have this. So that's the reason you have a separate meter. This fits to the top of the base, and there's two magnets that connect right here. So as one turns, it turns the other one. So one's larger, and 092 and above, it's a larger magnet. So on those meters, a lot of times we'll tell people that if the meter is an 091 and below, replace it because that meter is right at 10 years old. AWWA states 750,000 gallons or 5 years. This meter has a life expectancy of 1.4 million. Of course, that's all based on water quality because a lot of the wells that people have produce a lot of sand, and I know all of y'all are familiar with water cutting on metal. Water is one of the most abusive things there are in our business. That's where JD and them have seen pipe cut by a water leak, brass cut by leaks. So that's the reason for the makeup on the meter as far as the life of a meter, because we want the most accuracy we can get. I don't know how aggressive y'all have been on your meter change-out programs. Meters slow down with age. It's just it's a mechanical device, and it slows down. What we're having to do, because the state is really on us to take care of what our water loss is, and this is a way of us to bring our water loss up to where we're not down around the 15s or such as that. We can bring it up to where it's in less than 10, because we're accounting for more of the water that's going through. So the states really like that you have an active meter change-up program. So that is one of the items that progresses into. One of the other items on that last sheet, the better meters we have now are non-mechanical. They are ultrasonic, 2-inch and above. And these type of meters, we've done away with the old brass double body type meter because over the years, they just don't work properly. The mechanicals mess up. This meter, you literally see through it. It uses ultrasonics. It's very accurate. And so 2-inch and above, where your industries, where you have car washes, we still have the brass meters in the 1.5 and 2, but once we get into high flow situations along with low flow, and where I'm saying that is you've got a manufacturing, but when manufacturing is not going, you may have a kitchen, drinking fountains. That's where you got to have the low flow to read that. These meters pick that up. They're designed to do that. And on these, that is the only part of this system that's wired, is because a lot of times those meters are in vaults and they fill up with water. So we have a wire on them with a gray box that is our transponder, and we mount it up toward the lid. So we don't care about water filling up our vaults. And so that's the type of meters there. So the package within itself, we're more interested in the 5/8 3/4 because that's the majority of meters you have in your system. And we want to make sure that it's the most accurate system. It's allowing the city to utilize its employees to make it easier for her to do the billing. It's all, we're not taking the human factor out, we're just making it easier for the men to do their work out in the field and then for her to do her work in the offices. But like I say, this is the type of system that's been around for a very long time, and it has proved to be very efficient in the way it works.
What would you say the fail rate is?
Fail rate, 0.5%. So for the first 8 to 10, the 1 to 8 years, we have very, very good luck. As the battery, everything is battery powered. So a battery is weird. They'll tell you a battery will last 15 years, and it'll vary because every battery is different, and it is electronics. We're putting electronics in the ground. The warranty on this unit is 10 years, and that's on anything but cracked glass or a cracked register on the bottom, dented in for some reason. But as I say, we handle the RMAs for y'all. When I come by, Davey said, hey, Rick, when you come by, I've got a couple of registers for you to pick up. I pick them up, I take them back to my office, I do all the paperwork. Well, I don't, he does. But he takes care of all that. We send them off, they send you back units. And it's like any other warranty. If you got a unit that's been in the ground for 4 years, you got 6 years of warranty left on what takes place. So, but as I say, the failure rate, 0.5%, but I'll never say 100% guaranteed. There's nothing that's 100% guaranteed. I don't care what anybody says. But that's the way we work it, and we work real close with our city. And I'm always around. I'm not going to sell the product and then I'll be in Austin or whatever. I'm in Longview and I come by about every 2 weeks to check on these guys. So I'm around to help them.
What's the cost of one of these machines, one of these meters?
Okay, the meter right now is $252. This is $222. All the cost is in the electronics. So we got a package worked up where y'all get 60 meters and the read equipment, software, training, 1 year of support for about $24,000. That gets you started. Then at that point that you have the drive-by equipment, J&M can purchase 500 meters. I don't care. Or they can purchase 2 boxes of meters and we can start. If they want to do, how many routes have y'all got? 6. We can incorporate them all into one route or we can go a route at a time. You can say, okay, route 1, we're going to do route 1 first. One of my water systems, they had a very busy highway. And they did all of them to start with because the guys were having to pull off on the shoulders and stuff. Go out and read the meters. And I know y'all have probably traveled Highway 14 that goes from Hideaway Lake back down to Tyler. They're right there at Tyler State Park, and that road is a nightmare. And it's 2 lanes wide. So we don't tell you how to do it. We provide you with the equipment, and you tell us what you need to do. And whether it's, like I say, 100 meters at a time or 2 boxes every month, and that's what we're going to change out. Or if we want to go out there, hey guys, let's hit it, let's do route 1 and go from there. So the 2-inch meters and above, a 2-inch meter is a good example, is $1,600 with electronics. So that setup, we buy it. If you had any of those in the ground, it's just a matter of adding electronics, just like on the meters. If you got master meters, it's just a matter of popping the register, popping that register on. And it's self-activating. You don't have to do anything, turn it on. It's self-activating after 50 gallons. All we have to make sure is that we get the EID number with the right address. That's the number one thing you want to make sure you do. That's the reason we do the fill-off stickers. We try to make it as easy, put it right on the work order. And that way, when she gets it, we're not worried about handwriting or anything else. We've tried to do everything we can to make the system as simple as possible to get it put in. And then, like I say, backup support. And I'm really heavy on backup support because this is not a bow or a piece of pipe or something you're putting in the ground. It's a piece of electronics.
What's the monthly cost of it?
There's no monthly cost. You buy the meters, you put them in the ground.
$252.
$252 per meter. Well, the customer support is right now it's at $1,500 a year. It's annual, but that gives you Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 o'clock. You call somebody, and they're real good that if they're busy, they'll call you back right away. And they do in-house training, so you don't send people to them; they come to you and do the training here. So JD and Daniel, well, poor Daniel can't teach you anything. No, I'm kidding. I like it. But whoever you want in on the training, they'll be here for the training. And it's they say 2 days, so it's half a day, a full day, and a half a day. And then, of course, customer support, you can call them anytime you want to. You can talk to them.
So is there a payback, right?
I'm sorry?
So is there a payback on this?
Payback. One of the paybacks is your labor saved as far as everybody having to work for a week and a half to read meters. Now you're down to one guy, one truck. Because you put the equipment in the truck, and as I say, they load the route, hit the start button, and drive. They read that route. If you want one route or you want 6 routes, I don't care. Y'all set that up when people come in and do the training. So your big cost is in your labor. You're cutting back on the labor. You're cutting back on the time of her sitting there doing this at the computer. It's saving her that time of having to put stuff in the computer and generating the bills faster and getting them out. So the labor intensity is the man hours. So now he can focus on other stuff that he has to do here in the city. And that's where your savings comes in. Your wear and tear on your vehicles, your brakes, starting and stopping, every time. Dogs, safety factor. I don't know if you guys ever opened a meter box and found a snake looking at you, okay? Or a bumblebee, bee's nest. It's a big safety factor. You said it a while ago about the lights on the trailers, starting and stopping, okay? Big safety item. We're not worried about dogs now, where meters are behind fences, and we're having to contact people. Hey, I got to read your meter today. Can you lock your dog up? We ain't worried about that anymore, because as he drives by, they could either put a meter reader sign on the side of the truck or just take the city truck and drive. But it's not confined to one vehicle. We have City of Carthage. They have a Prius that the sewer plant uses. The ladies use it, run errands. That's where they read the meters from. They put the equipment in the Prius and drive down. And so it's all about convenience. And that's what this whole system is based around, is convenience. I think they're selling Teslas right now. I'm not sure.
Do not get our chief started.
Okay, he's not here. But that's where the savings comes in. And plus, you're going to be changing out older meters that may not be as accurate. And we're having that water loss.
I can attest to the meters.
Okay.
My meter in everybody's city, I think it was 3 years ago, I told them, I said, hey, I need to change my meter. I'm like, why? I said, look at my water bill. And my water bill was just like all over the place.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I don't see a problem. Like, I'm telling you, something's wrong with my meter.
Yeah.
And they're like, you realize your water bill's probably going to go up? I'm like, yeah, but I'm afraid that open record request, somebody's going to come get my water bill and think that I was doing something wrong. So I'm telling y'all, I see a problem with my bill, change my meter, and they were right. My bill went up almost $50 a month.
Well, it is something bad, but at the same time, again, we go back to TCQ. And the happier we make those people, the happier we are out there in the field. Because as I say, with the cities I work with, this is a big thing. And so keeping our water loss down, as I say, putting in new meters with new technology. Plastic meter boxes are the best. I don't know what meter box you mostly use. Plastic. Reed through plastic, fine. The only thing that's a killer is water. When we get into heavy rains, you may have to drive closer to the meters to read them, because water is a solid. So once we have that, but dirt, we read fine through dirt. We can read through steel lids, where if you've got meter boxes in driveways where it does have a metal lid, it just means you know that you're going to have to drive by that meter to get the signal from it, because that steel really cuts down. Concrete meter boxes, we don't have that problem with. It's just the cans.
Yeah.
They're culvert meter with a cast iron lid. And so we just have to get closer to those.
What service does these laptops run off of?
Microsoft.
What internet service as far as cellular?
That's up to you.
There's places out here that don't get cellular.
Okay. Well, we're not reading the meter cellular. We're reading it by an RF signal. The only time we use the internet is web-based, is when she transfers the routes to the laptop, and we transfer the routes back to her. It can be done here.
That's just a sync process.
That's all it is.
Who owns that data?
I'm sorry?
Who owns that data?
You do. Okay. We have it. We can look at it, but it's your data. Okay.
Cloud-based data.
Yeah, we send our information to the Microsoft Cloud, and so it goes up to it and then back, but we can look at it because it goes to our servers. But the nice thing about the web-based information, such as when she logs on, we don't have to have a computer bought every couple of years because this one goes out of date. As long as it has internet capabilities, she logs on, there's the information. We do all the security. We've got the servers in the big block building with all the layers of security that go with it. Y'all don't have to constantly invest in McVie or whoever. We're doing all that for you. I was once told that you could hack these meters. Hack what? There's nothing to hack. It's got a signal that it transmits. I mean, if you've got one of these computers, which there's a lot of them around you here, you could hack into it and change something. But all these years, I've never heard of such a thing. But as far as the information, Master Meter does not share customer information with anybody. And what are they going to share other than a name and an address? And you can look on anywhere and find somebody's address on the internet now. So there's no information.
Is there a, like a dashboard for customers as well? They
Okay.
can see their usage?
I wish there was for this system, but you have to go to what they call AMI, which means that when you go to AMI, you got an FCC license, you have infrastructure, which is towers. It may be something y'all want to look at later because the software that she will have is the software we use with that system. And it would be something we could upgrade. I'll be honest with you, it's a much more expensive system. It's harder to maintain it because, as I say, because of your towers, you're prone to lightning strikes and such. This system is so simple, it's unreal.
So tell me a little bit more about water loss, because our water loss here is high.
Okay.
We just had the engineers go through here. We're over 26%.
Well, we could cut a good bit of it down with the meter. I say good bit. What is a good bit? If you've got meters, you can take 10 meters out of the system. And JD could pull me one of his newest meters and one of the oldest meters he got, an old census meter, rock wall meter. I'm sure you've got some of those in the ground. Everybody does. When we test these meters, they're a 3-step test. We even have a test bench at our office in Longview. You have a test where you do 0.2 gallons per minute on 10 gallons. It's a very slow test, testing how accurate the meter is at low flow. Then you have intermediate and high flow. Intermediate is based on 100 gallons at 0.5. And then you have full flow, which is water running full flow through the meter for 1 minute. So you've got a low, medium, high. Because meters slow down, there's a lot of meters that won't even pick up low flow. You have 1.6 gallon flush commodes, you have ice makers, you have drinking fountains. One of the things that people don't understand about drinking fountains run 24 hours a day. So at schools or anywhere there's a drinking fountain, there is actually water running through that drinking fountain at all times. Schools, when they first started doing the systems, they complained because they thought something was wrong with the meter because the meter was showing leak. Well, because the water ran continuous for 24 hours, the meter said, you got a leak. So we want that low flow as close as we can get it. So by doing an active meter changeout program, we're trying to eliminate that 80% or zero picking up low flow. We want these things, and every meter has got the test result in the meter. Every one of these meters has to be tested before it leaves mass meter. Any meter company has to test these bodies to see what their accuracy is before it ever leaves the plant. That is by AWWA rules. So you've got the test results on every meter that comes through the line. That's the reason they base it on 5 years, 750,000 gallons. Because they feel like the meter's going to slow down at that point.
And this help with leak detection?
Pardon?
This going to help with leak detection?
It will when they read the meters. If the customer has a leaking commode or they've had a leak, but it only occurs once a month when you read the meters. Because this is not one of those fixed base systems that you read the meter every day through the system. And but it helps us in that aspect. Now, when we talk about the portal, they're making great strides with technology. maybe in not too far future, something will be added to make it easier to work with these. But right now, this meter is designed around being able to read the meters, get the readings into the city clerk so she can get the bills done, take their labor and time more toward things they need to do for the whole city in general. Just get the meter reading done and let's get done with it.
So a minute ago you said, I just want to make sure what Ramsey just asked, that this would help with leak detection?
Okay,
And you said there was an alarm if it ran 24 hours continuously?
yeah, it turns on what's called a leak alarm.
Okay.
That alarm comes on. Now, if they fix the alarm, if it sits idle for 3 hours, that alarm turns itself off.
Okay.
Okay. There are some other alarms that's based in the literature. I always recommend everybody does their research, read the literature on the meters. But you have tamper, you've got counterclockwise, you've got the leak alarm, and I'm trying to remember everything in my brain at the moment. But those kind of alarms are the ones that help you when you read the meters. And so in the aspect, the tamper such as a magnetic switch, where if a magnet is introduced, it tells us what's going on. Backflow, you get a backflow through the meter, it will tell counterclockwise, and you can actually pull that reading up and see how many gallons it went backwards. There's a lot of things electronics gives you the option on. The biggest thing is the data logging of the meter, where we can go back and data log a meter. That way, if there's a question about a bill, it goes no further than right here. They don't have to come before you and say, there's no way I use the water. They can actually get a chart showing where the water went through the meter. It's by the hour, and it can go up. We first pull it by the day, and if we see what I call as an event, where you have a high usage in one day, I tell my guys, go back to the day before and the day after, and pull it by the hour, and you can see where it started, when it ended. So let's say somebody left a watering trough on or fell in a swimming pool. It shows that event. It shows up in that data log. But that seems to be one of the most important factors of these things is the data log. Big deal. Any more questions?
How many meters we have total?
Right at 1,500, isn't it?
No, a little less.
In and outside?
And outside of, we got 1275
12 active.
active, plus or minus, active accounts, and then there's another about 200 to 300 that are inactive, but they're still underground.
So 1,500?
Yeah.
And that's about average for this kind of system right here. 12 to 2,500.
It's like 400,000 investment if you had to do it.
Are there grants available for
There were some grants at COVID because this fell under that deal where we were not having human contact. So the system.
nothing available today that you're aware of?
I'm not going to say there is or there isn't. I just know at one time we had several systems that did that, and this fell under that criteria. But that's the reason we don't tell you that some of the companies that sell this type of system, well, you got about 1,500 meters at one time, and then the software and all this stuff. We allow the city to, with the starter package, because as I said, you're paying about $166 for that meter in the starter pack. You get 60 meters for nothing. And like I say, the equipment by itself, the laptop, if you buy a laptop, is $7,000. Because it's a Panasonic Toughbook with special features. There's a serial port, which computers do they just don't come with serial ports anymore. But that's how we read the systems through the serial port. So the black box underneath is $2,780. So the starter pack for $24,000, you're getting 60 meters. The training by itself is $5,000. So, as I say, you're getting the Harmony Encore software, you're getting training, you're getting 1 year of customer service, 60 meters for $24,000. It's $24,600, so I just tell people $25,000.
can or cannot control the meters from the web.
No.
Okay.
That has been tried, and it's an ultra failure where they went with this device, a valve where they said you can turn the meters off and on from the office. Big time failure. Matter of fact, the company that invented that went out of business because they had so many lawsuits. Because the valve got to where it turned itself off and on all the time. So
I was just asking because we spend 57% of our work orders after bills come out, going back and doing on and offs.
there are meter companies that say they have that, but the meter by itself is over $500. And you have to have the AMI system to operate it. You have to have the towers. You have to have all
It has to have connectivity. Sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I wish we had that. That's been something that's been asked about for years, even to the point where they could drive by with a laptop and say, shut valve. It's the valve that gives you all the trouble because we are limited power. We have, if you open up one of these, there's 2 batteries in here that look like AA batteries, but they're 3-volt batteries and they're hardwired. There is no changing the batteries. This unit is totally sealed, hermetically sealed to keep moisture out. That's the reason if one goes bad, we send it off and they give us a replacement ready to go in here. So this does not come apart. This comes out of this shell, but the register itself is just an ordinary looking register. But you can see the antenna is here and you can actually see the gears. All the electronics is inside right here. So it's, they're trying to get away from mechanical stuff. We have registers that are all digital type registers. But this is the best, safest, economical, less headache. It just works. That's the reason I push the system so hard. It's just a low cost, reliable system that gives us the ability to do what we need to do.
What do we pay for a standard meter today?
Standard meter is $90.
Thank you.
So as I say, all the money's in the electronic. So that's the reason when you add that 222 to just a meter, it's a lot higher than $252 because they want you to buy a complete year.
Sure.
You said training's $5,000. Who are they training for $5,000?
Whoever you want. So when they come here, if you have 3 ladies in the office and you want them to learn the software and you got 5 guys out in the field, we don't care.
Why is it so much?
I can't tell you that.
Because it's their training.
They're training. They come and they get a hotel room, which will probably be in
I'm saying
Greenville.
that because I'm saying that from experience from the company I work for. When we do operator training or operator trainer training, train the trainer,
Yeah, our software it's $1,850 a
we
day
charge
plus
what
expenses.
we charge because it's our training. I mean, I'm just giving you.
We have
Really
to, with the training, so if we were to get new employees, in order for them to have access to software, do we have to have a whole new training? Or can the employees that have already been trained do that training?
They will train them, but it'll cost you $1,200 a day. Okay,
Standard.
that's the reason.
But you can train the trainer.
Yeah, there's
But-
no,
I'm saying,
You
but
can
the,
teach
yeah,
them how
I
to
can
do
train.
what they're doing.
there's no license, right? There's no license.
You have a licensing fee. It's
No,
one-time fee.
No, what I'm saying is there's no license per person.
No, I'm sorry.
Per trained person that expires or whatever.
Okay, that's what I want to verify.
Now, the nice thing is that if you need help, when you call Master Meters, the people will work with you over the phone. And because like I say, because they get right on your computer, they say, now we come up here and we click here and you see all of this real time. And they are very, very nice people. So,
Good deal.
but that's what's available.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your time. I'm sorry I didn't make last month's meeting. I think you had told. That's my problem. But anyway, thank you for letting me come in. I appreciate your time very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be careful.
All right. I'll get out of y'all's way. Thank you.
Anything on this?
I think we gotta do some research to figure out how to pay for it.
Yeah.
Rough numbers, it looks like it's about a 3.5 year payback on it.
You think it's that long?
Huh? Yeah. From some stuff I ran, probably looking at saving about $53,000 a year in labor. And depending on how much we're able to cut back on that, water loss, anywhere from 6,500 to 19,000 there. So, call it 70 grand a year that you save. Maybe at 1,200 meters,
1,500, right?
300,000.
Well, we got 1,200 active, 1,200.
1275.
Yeah, so that's $300,000. So you'd make it back.
Sure.
Actually, like 24.
About the amount of time it would take to replace all of them. At 100 grand a piece, at 100 grand a year.
Yeah.
We can come up with 100 grand a year.
But and I don't know how you put a price on free enough. At least
That kind of labor.
3 men a week, every month.
Well, no, I don't disagree, but.
Yeah.
Not putting a price on it and having the money to come down. is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we will research more and this will be brought up, now we have the information, right? So that's gonna take us to, 8D, discussion and action regarding presentation of proposal, or proposed replat and development plans for property ID 238508 and property ID 238507 located off Dover Drive by Ephraim Wallace with Next Design Build for council. How are you?
Good evening, council members and everyone. I got just printed out 4 sets of these. I don't know if you can find one. And I do have a big printout, but I don't know if I can pin it in the wall for our proposed lots, or I can just show them this way. Anyways, my name is Ephraim Gonzalez. We are a design build company based in Dallas. We got a client here in West Tawakoni, and he got 2 lots that we want to see if we can replot and build a subdivision of about 17 houses. You can see on the first sheet the layout of the houses that we are proposing. We are respecting the width of the new drives and the cul-de-sac, which is I think 64 foot radius, something like that. We want to see if we can implement this new development here in the city. We have some perspective views for you to see how it might, turn out if you approve this new subdivision. We're just very close from here, east on Dover. The properties is about 2.8 acres. If we join them together, and so we are proposing this for our client, and I think it will be a good upgrade in that area for the city. I don't know if you can look at it, and if you have any questions.
What's the square footage of these houses?
Well, we are respecting the base 4,800 square feet per lot, and we are per each lot, and there's some bigger lots that are about 6,000. We are having a house of like 1,000 square feet plus garage, maybe 1 car garage, 2 car garage, so about 1,200. And the bigger one will be the 2,200 square feet house on the bigger lots. So we are, if you can see on the layout on sheet number 2, you can see this is an existing drive, rock drive. This is a new drive that we're developing, and then you can see the lots on the sides. These will be the smaller lots, which are about between 48 to 5,000 square feet, and the bigger lots in the corners, and down on this new drive that we're proposing. So yeah, it would be between 1,000 to 2,200 square feet each house.
So how much setback you have in the front? and
We
the
are
back?
respecting the 25-foot setback in the front and the 5-foot on the rear and the side yards.
5 foot in the back.
Yeah,
and
5
5
foot.
between the houses.
Yes, 5.
So fire truck cannot go through it, can it?
It's got
No,
the,
no,
the
we-
driveway.
No, you're talking about between the houses?
Yeah.
Our
No.
truck wouldn't drive between the houses.
So in the back, it's only 5 feet.
No, the front
Front is
setback is
25.
25
In the
feet.
back, how much is it?
It's 5.
Well, but it's towards the other properties, yeah.
Yeah,
lots, yeah.
there would be no access in back of the house.
Yeah, there's a, yeah.
And which is typical for a lot of houses. I mean, you don't have access to the back of every house. There's not a road behind every house.
Unless you have an alley, but we're not, yeah, we're not.
There's the lots behind that are being developed.
Being
There's
developed.
houses
This
going
is
back
all
there
water.
too. Yeah, and then there's water in
There's
between.
water on the, really on the
There's
back.
drainage on the Kings Bridge, between Kings Bridge and the back of these.
So this right here is water.
You get
And then
drainage.
this property being
Yeah,
built
it's a
also.
natural drain.
And then here. There's a lot of movement going on with all this area.
This property, this area is already zoned, so it would not be rezoned. It's zoned SF2, which requires the 4,800 square foot property, 1,000 square foot house, setbacks you had listed. This will be replatted. It will have infrastructure that has to go in. So the point in this is before we start doing, public hearings for replats and site plans, you guys get a chance to put some input in
See, this is,
into whether you like the idea, whether you like to see change the idea. That's kind of the point in this.
Was this presented to P and Z at all? No.
This is first steps. No, this is first steps, which our ordinance actually lays out, comes to you guys.
And then he just makes it, and then it comes back to council again.
I know this, we've talked about several different things in that area, so they're starting to run together.
Yes. Other development,
There's a lot of development.
the other development we're looking at backs up to this one.
so I think I came at the right moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions.
No, I don't have.
Anybody else have anything?
So this is something that we can work on and present for the next council meeting and,
So then we'll proceed with your replat.
With the replat.
plans and
okay, all right, perfect.
Then it
public
goes to
hearings.
planning and zoning after.
Yep, it'll go into, public hearings.
Have I done a neighborhood around here somewhere, or
Is it a first?
a neighborhood around here somewhere already, or?
No, it's our first time. Yeah, but we got, our real estate agent, actually, they bought a lot of properties around here. So this will be, we will be our first one, and then we have 2 more developments that we want to work in the future. Yeah. But, and of course, we're gonna work on the civil and everything once this is approved for replat, and we got a good team of civil engineers and MEPs and structural and everything. We use, our plan is to do build a model house, and then from there move on and start selling each of the lots for future residents.
Any idea what the cost is gonna be?
Not at this moment, yeah. But we will try to keep it because of the flow of the wastewater and the water meters and all that. We want to keep it not as big, houses, just a small, 2-bedroom. 2-bathroom houses, and not like have too many bedrooms inside. Yeah.
Isn't 5 feet too small? If one house catches fire, it'll just go quickly.
Well, it's 10 from house to house. It's 5 foot on the side from each house, so it's gonna give you 10, which is pretty
Yeah,
typical. Pretty typical, and yeah, if you had center line to center line, it's gonna be 5 foot from this property line to that house, and it's gonna be 5 foot from this property line to that house.
Is that
so
how
it's
it
gonna
is?
give you 10.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's how it is.
And yes, it's too close.
It is too close, but that's typical
Yeah.
city living.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're on the council, if it's you make a suggestion to change something, and y'all can do that. I'm just putting that out there.
5 foot from the back line is too close too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the comprehensive plan that I think that we're gonna be looking at very soon. And I was glad that we don't do anything with this until after the comprehensive plan is.
There's planning and zoning, yes, and all that plan that we got. I don't think there's anything else for us, unless somebody else has some questions for him. There's nothing else on this at this time. I mean, at this point, you were coming to present it to us. I don't see that there's any problems. I haven't heard any problems with it. So you guys would start working on your next step, and then we would see it after it goes to PZ.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
That takes us to 8E, discussion and action regarding presentation, proposed replat and development plans for all property located off the Rebecca for council input.
This is the same kind of thing. Rebecca is the property that is located across from our city park, more specifically across from H&F Record. The old auto parts place is here, then you have the building here, and Rebecca runs down and ties into Sea Road. Part of it is in the city, part of it is not. However, the infrastructure will all be.
Hi, my name is Elmer Resendez. I work for CRA. Well, we're the ones developing. We just bought the property. Sorry. And I'm trying to replat this front, and I don't have copies to show everyone, but this front track, trying to divide it into 6 properties, remodel the shop, the house, and put 4 new builds. They're all going to be set at, the lots sit at 6,700 square feet each lot after they're divided. Planning to put the houses in the center. They're all 1,200 square foot houses, 2 stories. I already have a model being built that's going to be finished by July 1st on a neighboring property. And that's something separate, but basically what we're trying to do there. So this is just for the replat for the 6 properties, but at the whole development will be 14 homes. Yeah.
So it's half city, half county, but the infrastructure will have to go in and be adopted by the city.
So my plan was we're going to put in almost 600 feet of water and sewer from the main road all the way to the back to accommodate for all the homes.
Is there any, have they said anything about wanting to annex them?
No.
I know that's a whole different.
It would be something that they would want to do. It's kind of like what the Scribner property behind Billy's, what they did there. So.
But their infrastructure is still under our control.
Yeah.
So they won't have permits necessarily for the properties in the county, but the infrastructure they will.
Right. Yeah.
And then they'll have permits for the inside city, and then of course we're trying to replat the inside city.
Okay.
So basically he's taking it from all the RVs and the tiny homes and the junk that's all that.
One big house is at the end of that road. Y'all probably
We're gonna
tear it down.
yes, we're gonna demolish it and build new homes. And the blue one that's there too, I think we're probably gonna demolish it. The second one, just the red shop and then the blue house. Red shop we're gonna definitely remodel, and then we still haven't decided on the course on the blue house. But on the back end, yes, we're planning on making a tree, clean all the trees up, turn all the old out, put all new in. Thank you.
It is. It's a lot of building.
All right. Now it takes us to item 8F, discussion and action to approve or deny ordinance number 331-06-10-2025. Ordinance of the city of West Tawakoni adopting rules and regulations for the use of public parks within the city of West Tawakoni, Texas, providing a penalty in the amount of not to exceed $500 for any violation, providing a repealer clause, severability clause, and saving clause, and setting an effective date.
I was called on Friday and told, we think we need a park ordinance. So I kind of pulled together one of the ones that I've used before in other cities. I know that Shannon's already been working on it today, making some changes, and as I've been sitting here, I've been also amending the changes that Shannon sent to me today. So this is gonna change some, because we're gonna look at doing some permit fees for special uses and, reservations. And so what we're really talking about right now is, this puts something in front of you guys to start looking at, so that y'all can make some suggestions as well, but we know we're not passing this today because it does need some changes, okay? Based on what is gonna be specialized for y'all. Right now, y'all just got the one big part, but we are looking at the ability to put in additional ones, so I wanna make some changes to specify whether or not we are gonna, for park rentals, for things that'll happen in this park that we have now, and then I don't know if the park in the future is gonna have camping and things like that, or we need special fees for that, but that we could kind of break it down based on what those fees would look like for rental, or if we're gonna one of the things we're talking about is a whole park rental. If somebody comes to us and says, hey, we want to be able to pay the city to close the entirety of the park, meaning you're gonna use all of your camping spaces, all of your RV spaces, we're gonna do a whole event, and that would be kind of regardless of whether or not they were charging an entrance fee or not. If you're closing the park down to the citizens, we need to be compensated for that, okay? And so that's kind of what we're looking at, but like I said, it does also have things in there like what time you guys are gonna be closing your parks. I think we're talking today about either sun up or sundown, or doing like 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., something like that. Mm-hmm. That was a lot of information really fast at y'all, I realize.
So we just need to reread this and then
yeah,
find out what the changes are.
Yeah, like I said, what I'm kind of looking at is what I had originally, and then versus kind of what we were talking about doing this whole park reservation, is adding some specifications to that. It's gonna look, rather than, I think it says maybe what y'all got in front of you has special event reservation. Is that what? Yeah. Yeah. So that was an add-on from what I had originally, even. So I'm kind of amending that for whole park, because what I don't want is I'm concerned that special use permit and then special event permit is going to be way too confusing for people who are saying this is what I want, because those seem like almost the same thing. So that's why I was like, we're going to change that to a whole park use and kind of do a more broad. This is what the fee for just all right. You're booking everything. What that would be, and if that's even something that you guys want to do. So now would be a good time to tell me if that's something you don't want to do ever. But
one thing that scares me is ordinances get lost and forgotten because either council changes, employees change, legal changes, right? Everybody changes for whatever reason, whether they go on somewhere else to have more fun, or they just leave this world, right? I mean, you can raise your eyebrows if you want.
no, I was like, it's just a little bit death and taxes being the only certain things, I guess.
Yesterday was the second anniversary of me losing my mom, so those things are sort of fresh on my mind. But at the end of the day, we can put this together, but my fear is, do any of us know that for sure we don't have one, right?
I think
that's the scary part is and I'm just putting this out there for a council because we do have some new council members here, and I've said this even when I was on council, and we just haven't been able to get it off the ground and make it happen. But my fear is we've added ordinances since I've been on council, but we haven't had the council in place or the city administration in place that we could drive this bus hard enough, fast enough to figure out how we get all new ordinances, and they're all loaded somewhere, because yes, we do have some ordinances that are loaded on our website, but they're not all, right?
So in particular, this one and a lot of the ones that you'll see that I've done will say, like this one says section 3, all ordinance or parts of ordinances inconsistent or in conflict herewith are, to the extent of such inconsistency or conflict, hereby repealed, meaning this is going to cover up any old ordinance. So that's how that.
Yeah, and I understand that, right? But my thing is what else are we missing? We're building this thing, a half brick at a time, where if we would just kinda like what we're doing with the comprehensive plan, if we'd start making a plan to where we moved into wards, adopting like, I think what this city did in, I think it was in the nineties or whatever. We adopted ordinances from, you keep looking at fate, which is fate is a fairly good one to look at. But, you know, when are we gonna do that rather than I guess, if we, I don't know. I'm asking that and planting that bug in everybody else's ear, because, I mean, I feel like for this city to ever actually truly change, truly do a facelift, we've got to stop doing it half a brick at a time, and we've got to really remodel this thing.
So is there somebody who can bring us, you know, a list of ordinances that we can adopt? Or we just go to?
We have to do that as a city, as a council,
Well, there's steps to it too.
as an
We need the zoning
administration. We have to do that
ordinance.
as a collective group, is what I'm saying. I can't tell you how that happens. I just know it does happen because this city itself did it before.
Well, that's a great idea, actually. If we can do that, you know, adopt a bunch of it and change it as needed.
I'm just putting that bug out there, but anyway, moving back to this, there's nothing we can do with this tonight.
We've got to, like I said,
right.
we've got to make some
Yeah, I
changes
mean,
based on what you guys need
Yeah,
specifically.
it's unfinished and complete right at this point. So, I mean, there's really not much we can do with it tonight except for bring it back another day when it's under the complete.
Right, and what like I said, this is it. I mean, it is largely what we're going to be looking at doing. I'm changing some language and phrases. I'm going to move fee schedule into like an exhibit that's attached to the bottom, because that is one of the things that was added in. So that we can, if you need to make changes to that fee schedule, you don't have to go in and amend the entire ordinance. You'd be able to vote on a supplement and change that exhibit out. Those kinds of things do get changed. You know, what you said, like the feel, but it's not really. It's this. Hey, when we got to make a change to that, we don't want to have to go in and do a big amendment. We're going to supplement. We're voting to supplement this exhibit with this new one.
So I get that there's 13 pages here. The last page is sort of a signature page, but the council, this is the first time y'all seen this, correct?
We could table that.
There's no way that this could go anywhere tonight.
No, absolutely not. I'm
Is
just
there a motion
encouraging.
by council?
I'll make a motion, we table it.
Second that. Yeah, vote.
Judge Gobi.
Frankie Minchie. Greg Sprinkle.
Dave Sam.
You get all that? That takes us down to 8G, discussion or action, presentation from Tracy Travers, use of the city park, 7-3 to 7-6 for an event.
Probably timing for this question, isn't it? So, obviously, this is Amber, this is Larry. I brought Larry in. Larry is the event director. What we've been working on for the last year and a half is, this is a jet ski racing series. It's the largest one in the country.
Right now, we're the largest one in the country. We have 4 different regions that we service. We just got finished being in Altus, Oklahoma, where we ran a 4-day event for junior nationals and a national event. And we've been doing this for 6 years in Texas, and Texas used to have racing, it went away. We brought it back and married up with you guys out of Kansas, like Havasu, and hopefully Florida's next.
And what we've been trying to do is get this event to make a stop at Tawakoni. We think it'd be really cool in this lake. Slate doesn't have an event like this. We went to a couple of their events, we've just been going as guests and watching. The last event was in Paris, Texas, about a month ago, and I was going to go with what is Justin, the head?
Justin's one of my head promoters.
Yeah. And we were going to talk about logistics, you know, and stuff like that for me to bring here to y'all, but his son graduated, so we didn't get to do much of that. So, but Larry knows the ups and downs of all of it. And even though he is the director of the Outlaw Series, which covers Texas, Oklahoma area, he lives on Tawakoni. So what we're trying to do is bring it to the city of West Tawakoni and do it out of the park. And I think it would be a really cool event. We were able to set this up for 4th of July weekend. As soon as the Chamber of Commerce quit doing their 4th of July weekend event, as soon as they said that, I came up here and tried to get this reserved
while I was still working on it because I figured that we were going to be able to get this done. But I think this will be a great event for 4th of July weekend. It starts on Friday. They start setting up on Friday and do what they call the corporate challenge. Our big sponsor is going to bring their employees in, and it'll be their day. The racers will have some jet skis out, and the employees will race for trophies and prizes, or just to be able to say they won.
And it's a timed event, so it's not like we're taking people that don't race jet skis and putting them out on the course together.
Yeah, they're one at a time.
It's single
One
one
at a time, timed event.
And then the races will begin on Saturday. They usually run, what time they start, 2 or 11?
By the time we do riders meeting and everything, we start going probably about 11 o'clock to be our first race.
And then the first day will go to around 6. And what our plans are is we want to keep something going constantly for people to come in and watch. So when the first day of the racing stops at, let's just say 6, we're going to have music ready to kick off right then. So people that are there watching the races can stick around and give them something to stay around all day long. And then when it gets dark, we want to have a fireworks show off by the boat ramp.
Like years previous.
Yeah.
For the Jam Club.
And then Sunday, it starts back over again. It's the final set of the races. They'll do kind of the same time frame. They do awards, and then it's over.
Sunday, we're usually done by 4. Awards having by 5. We're cleaned up and out of there by 6 or 7.
But Levon kind of had this spot last year. And luckily, while I was talking to him about it, the director at Levon, let's just say, did them pretty bad. And so it was perfect timing for me to talk to them about coming to Tawakoni when Levon was about to lose it. And Justin and I have a verbal 5-year agreement. We'll do this thing for 5 years. We'll reassess, see what we need to do different, go bigger, go smaller, do whatever. If we need to move it, if we need to keep it here. I would love to keep it going here, working with the city and trying to make this thing a 4th of July event for at least 5 years.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future.
And then assess it then going on. I think it's going to be, they're predicting this stop to be the biggest race on their circuit. Over 100 races is what they're predicting it to be.
And
So,
that may be 50 racers each doing two different classes, so they're saying they'll do like 100 overall in that aspect.
but that whole park we will need the whole park. I'm not asking to close it down like the conversation now we're just having. I'm not asking that.
We want people to come watch. This is something for the community to come and do and see and shop and have visitors.
This event with the fireworks and the music and the other small things added to it is going to cost about $25,000 to do. We're wanting to cover that through sponsors. I know that I've rented the park in the past for different events. I've paid, I think $850 in the past for the park on a non-holiday weekend. Talking to Mary, she said that price could probably go up during the holiday weekend. I completely understand. I'm not coming to you to ask for the park for free. I don't want anything different than anybody else does. And also I don't want to come in here, even though I feel like it would be good for the city to allow that to happen, to waive the fees. I don't want any kind of bad kick up on this from someone. Oh, I had to pay that. So I don't want that. But what I'm asking in exchange of the cost of the park is I'm willing to bring my equipment down, and at the lake right there by the big pavilions where the ground goes out and just drops off, I would bring my equipment down and I would smooth that out, make a smooth transition right down to the water, from the top down to the water. It would give the racers a better place to put in and out. But then once we're gone, it'll be there for the rest of the summer, and it'll be a lot better for people from the city going down and swimming there, kids playing and stuff like that.
What he means by them putting in and out mostly is that's where the pit area is going to be. So
Do you have
they pull up.
that board that shows
No, it doesn't have the lake part on it, but they pull up and they have little stands in the water, or stands that are up on, the ground.
And that's where the
pull them up
takeoff
there,
is.
And they just have them set up to drain, get their pipes empty and everything. everything like that.
Because once they get their own trailer, everything, a lot of them are by four-wheelers, little four-wheelers, golf carts, whatever. They hook onto them, they take them out in the water, and then they can just load them right in. So,
We've also, we do a live stream on this also. We're averaging, last year it was 200,000 views over 8 races. And I think we're gonna shatter that this year. I think last week we had about 8,000 views last week.
and we are wanting to bring in a couple of food trucks for some of the people that are staying in there, but I want to limit that. I don't really want more than 2. And the reason being is because I do want them to come out and go to a restaurant and spend their money here in town at other places. So I want something convenient for them if they want to walk over and get a turkey leg or something like that. But I also don't want to just fill it up with different food trucks so that they don't go out and get that. And no, we're not wanting to charge anything to come in. We want people to come in. We're talking to the owner of Mastercraft in Dallas about bringing a couple of boats down and getting set up.
Can-Am about bringing out some of their machines just to lay out that's what a lot of these guys like to do. They're in the racing world. They race motocross up in Arizona, and then they do jet skis and then we're also, I'm talking with I tried talking to Lewis, but I didn't really get anything back from them, but I'm talking about getting, Classic Power Sports in Rockwall to come out and bring out some skis to set up, and I want to get all the local vendors too, that we have around this area that have been to events in years past that I know, and people doing, just getting it out there for them to come out and sell and show what they have. That is a big thing that I specialize in, I guess I could say. I like to get that going, so.
People that host these events like ourselves, eventually make money on it. We don't care about that this year. We want to make this a really cool event for everybody to come out and have fun on. That's why that we, on the picture that we have here, that we bought from the chamber.
So entrance up here, let down here.
Yeah, so what we would need is just like I've done in the past. In the past, I've rented everything, all the pavilions, all those spots, and everything. And that's what we were going to need for this. All of these will be filled in. We will need dry camping up in here for people. We'll have vendors set up. We'll have the food truck set up over here, maybe a stage over here.
Then the pit area.
This is this little loop right here.
Yeah, this goes to the boat ramp.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll probably do the starting line and area over here somewhere. He's thinking over here.
Starting line's probably
Right there in the front.
go out this way and then of course.
Yeah, so where on the water are they gonna race?
So you go, so if you take this doesn't show.
I got a phone that folds up and it goes kind of
It
big.
doesn't show a good picture, but if you look at the hook that goes out to the boat ramp.
Right, the point.
Yeah. We're gonna be mainly in that, and there may be a loop that goes out into the bigger part of the lake.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they try to contain it right in there. I took some video. Matter of fact, I think last year I sent you some pictures of some stuff that they were doing with it.
What do you need?
Larry would probably know more about how far out the race buoys would be.
It will not go past that point, I don't believe. I can't control what goes on. We have safety people that have to be involved out there, so we have marshals that are out there. I would imagine it's gonna eat up from whatever, is that like a pump?
Well,
That's the
yeah,
water
right,
pump
right
for the
here's a
city.
little-
Okay, so the water pump for the city, we're away from that,
And on the outside of the buoy. So that-
probably out to that hook. And we can
It's not a
design
very
this
big
track
space.
anyway.
Yeah.
No, we're not gonna go out into the main lake, as far as I know. We typically try to keep it pretty well contained. We were on really small, like, community lake in Altus that, we designed a track around a little island, and it's a smaller area than what we're talking about.
But I really think it's a really fun family event for 4th of July.
And it's exciting.
People are going to be out anyway. And we have an actual, the reason that we got involved with this to begin with is our oldest daughter is dating her boyfriend. I don't want to call it dating, she's 14, but her friend is in the racing series. He's one of he's a pretty big shot in this thing. And so talking to him and wanting to bring it to his hometown as well, and obviously, you know me, I want to do anything I can on Tawakoni, and I've always came to the city of West Tawakoni first to try to do something here in the town, that I can. But I really think it'd be a cool, fun, family-oriented event.
And there's gonna be a swimming area for kids that are down there watching, we'll make sure that there's a little spot for the kids to be and stuff
And
like
they
that.
have their, and he can do the logistics, but they got their, I mean, all their insurance, you gotta have EMS on site, all the stuff that they do, it's all gonna be set up, so you're always gonna have
We
somebody.
held our separate insurance to the IDSBA. We have rules of conduct that all the racers have to sign, because, it's all live streamed, so there is no shenanigans going on because of all of that, so. And it's basically, everybody that races, it's usually dads and kids that are racing right now.
Where do your racers come from?
Where do we come
Are they
from?
mostly
Where do the
local,
racers come
or
from?
you have some that travel a good distance?
We all travel a good distance. I have some people that are local. Our Texas series would drag people from Louisiana, from Oklahoma, and then from Texas. National events are coming from everywhere. This race will have probably from Kansas, Texas, Louisiana, surrounding states.
Like, I know Shanti said that there was.
Shanti's out of Kansas.
Yeah,
so.
well, Shanti said that there's gonna be some Havasu people that were racing in nationals.
Yeah,
that were
the way
staying
they
the
set
whole
this race up was they didn't put a
So,
race 2 weeks
that's
before
good.
it, or 2 weeks after.
We just came off of a national, so I had people in Altos, Oklahoma, that probably 12 different families came down from Havasu, which is like the mecca of jet ski racing, and we sent them packing. We took most of our trophies in Texas for them, so they're around. So there's probably half of those people are staying in town for this race.
And like I was saying, the way Justin explained this event
They have
being
something
set
to
up.
prove.
Yes.
Is they didn't.
We have a thing.
They didn't do a race 2 weeks before this event or
Right.
2 weeks after this event. So that way it wouldn't like have racers race the week before and say, oh, we don't want to come to Tawakoni. I mean, they want to get in and get the points and get in there. So that's why
There's a national point series that goes through all the promoters to one central bank, and these guys are hunting for national points.
And then just in case this question comes up, I did call Sabine River Authority about working on the bank before I brought it to you guys. And Jason says he doesn't think he has a problem. He'd have to come out and look, see what he was talking about. Well, you need to put riprap down to hold down. And I said, this isn't a long-term deal. I'm hoping that what this will do is finish out your summer, maybe even next summer, depends on how much rain you get. But he said that he would have to come out, look at it, most likely approve it, but it's something that the city would have to send the application in on. I can't.
Like the construction act.
Yeah. So if you guys approve this, then that would be the step to take on that.
What about the boat ramp itself and the point?
That'll all be used.
That will be used for people bringing in, some of the jet skis they want to put in right there. But we're trying not to close it off to people that want to come in. Now, with this said, if I bring my boat down there and I see 50 jet skis lined up, I'm probably going to go somewhere
I'm
else.
probably gonna walk somewhere else.
Yeah.
My main question is because that particular point, the road that's in there now, if it happens to rain on July the 2nd, it's gonna be solid mud when you try to get back in there.
We don't typically need a boat ramp to.
No, I understand, but you need the space for the additional boats and the people that are gonna bring their boats to the jet ski races. I went to the one in Levon last year, and so I saw all the boats that were around while they were doing it. And it's because there are the local people who use the boat ramps and everything. It's just their normal day on the lake.
Well, to be honest with you, most of the people in July will go down to the 2 Mile Bridge because, as you know, that boat ramp at the city park.
Very nice.
Yeah, it can only be used when the lake is like within 2 to maybe 3 foot
Yeah,
low.
when the lake's low,
That's not a great ramp.
that ramp's pretty flat.
But we just want to be upfront to let everyone know that we want to use this area for dry camp. There's going to be RVs parked scattered through here.
And they line them up nice, like they don't just park them in there all crazy. They're in a row.
Professional rigs.
Yeah, but there's some
And there's
half
gonna
$1 million
be-
rigs that are
There's
coming
going to
down.
be 4-wheelers,
Little surround.
golf carts, things that are gonna be running the racers back and forth and taking their stuff down, so there are gonna be motorized vehicles going through the park. But the events I've been to, and if he went to one last year, they don't just run through it for no reason. They just go hook up to the trailer, go down there, and they drive down to the deal. But that will also need to be allowed as well, because that's how they get their equipment and stuff down there.
And they'll use the roads, utilize the roads as much as possible. I mean, just in Paris, there wasn't a whole bunch of joyride or anything going around. There's roads all around it, and those roads were being utilized for sure. So the side roads will be.
And we're getting extra porta potties to cover some of that. I think that there's 2 dumpsters down at the point down there by the boat ramp. I would suggest maybe bringing one up and try to have it more where people are, to make sure that people.
There's one over by the bathrooms.
And is there 1 or 2 down by you talking about the bathrooms at the boat ramp?
No,
I think there's one
by the bathroom at the west entrance, then there's also 2 down at the boat ramp.
Yeah, so,
I don't either.
and that's what I'm saying, I don't know, if there's 2, I would suggest maybe bringing at least one up, because that's where most of the people are gonna be, having.
Well, there shouldn't be 2 down there. So I don't know why there's 2 down there. I don't know. So that might be something we wanna look at as a city. There's supposed to be one at the point, which is a 2-yard, and there's supposed to be a 4-yard, I think it is. Up
The main bathroom.
up by the main bathroom. So I mean, yeah, I don't know why there'd be 2 down there. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
And that's like the times I've rented it before. I know that y'all normally will go down and shut the front gate and leave the side one open. I mean, that's fine. I mean, once it gets late, people that are down there in RVs and campers, they're there for the night, so.
Yeah, nighttime. I mean, it's just trying to keep people from just coming right off the highway.
And it helps, because it keeps people from driving through there and seeing jet skis sitting around and.
Well, yeah, our average jet ski right now, our average race ski is 20 grand. Most of my hot rod skis are running at a 35 grand a piece.
Like brand new GPs.
So we'll need to get down there on Thursday to get stuff set up, so we're asking for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then finishing up Sunday. And Thursday will really just be in the afternoon, just bringing our RV in, getting it set up ready for Friday morning and stuff like that. It won't be a lot of people down there on Thursday.
And not really many Friday either. I mean,
My guys,
they'll be coming in.
My guys will be in
Yeah.
Friday, setting up towers.
And then that's when
things they
everybody will
need to
start
do.
showing up.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday will be the 2 big days. We're gonna do them Saturday night.
Yes.
Which is actually the 5th.
The 5th.
Yes, sir. Now, I think it's the same night that Quinn was doing theirs, but, maybe it'll keep people down here in Tawakoni.
You gonna give us a new sign to look at?
What's that?
A new sign to look at for the event?
That's not part of any of this.
Yeah, that sign, yeah, I don't wanna move that sign right now.
Who's doing the fireworks?
Scott Mace.
And he's great. He's the one that did them off the boat ramp.
Oh,
2
yeah.
years ago.
2 years.
I know Scott personally.
Did they call it fire?
No, not that, no.
Not that one.
That was a hot thing.
Okay. What else we got? Anybody got questions? So what do y'all want us to decide tonight?
If I can have use of the park, to be honest with you, the flyer's already been made up and West Walker's on it. So, and I actually asked, for it not to be posted until I had this, meeting.
That's the rough draft for our
Yeah.
sponsorship.
So,
The IT guy got a little ahead of himself.
so if something happens, I'm gonna have to scratch off West. And
Well-
we're gonna figure out a place to do it.
It'll be on Tawakoni one way.
So I appreciate you've reached out to Jason already, and I quite honestly wouldn't have figured that they would have a problem with it. We would need to get them to come down and take a look at it. I know last year there was a little bit of work that was trying to be done before we had that, burgers and Bibles or something. So, but yeah, I agree with you. It'd be a really needed thing to do that, to go down there and slough all that stuff off to where it's easier to get into the water. We got to get with Jason on that,
Which I did that last year.
SRA, whatever, yeah. Yeah, I knew y'all went down there before Bibles or whatever it's called.
Yeah, as the Bibles.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, are we trying to agree to a price, or are we trying to agree to what the councils, that you guys say what we're gonna be doing here?
Maybe put a value on the work, what the work would normally cost.
Well, it probably costs me more than the $1,200, but I think that it's gonna be, I think it'll leave the park nice for the rest of the summer if people
Right.
use it.
Absolutely.
And I don't disagree with that.
I'm just saying, so they know the
Yeah.
exchange.
I mean, you know, I charge $1,500 a day for my skid steer, and so it would technically, by the time I got, and I keep all my equipment in Dallas, by the time I get down, it probably costs more than $1,200, but I think it's going to be good. It's going to help them, and it's going to help you guys.
Oh yeah, there'd be a big benefit there. Now, parking the motorhomes and RVs or whatever, the dry camping that we're talking about, I mean, many people are gonna have that, they're gonna bring their equipment with them. But up there in that grassy area, we're talking about July, we should be fine, should be solid, but I mean, in the case that there's ruts or in the case that there's something, I mean, how would we all wanna look at that as far as after the fact?
Yeah, cause it definitely could damage the grassy area for the rest of the summer, right? If we didn't have a rain event on July 2nd, and that's really only 3 weeks away, and they're calling for rain for the next 10 days. So,
I mean, it's not heavy traveled ground, so it's not packed ground. Even when it's dry, right, if you take something out there, we're talking about a travel trailer. Some of these, if I heard rigs a while ago, we could be talking about a rig that's 15,000 pounds.
The biggest thing we have, I think, is a toter home, and they all need RV space.
there's only 15 concrete pads over there.
That covers all my heavy hitters that come in with big rigs.
Like Monster Engine.
I have like 10 people that come down with big rigs. Meaning they're not going anywhere but on the concrete.
Yeah,
You know.
I understand. But I mean, even some of these others, even if you take, say, a 25-foot or 30-foot travel trailer, that's a nice travel trailer, and a 3/4 ton diesel truck, we're still talking about pushing 20,000 pounds combined.
Correct.
So you take 20,000 pounds and you run it off into grass that has nothing more traveled on it than a zero-turn lawnmower. Typically, that soil compaction is not very stable, so it's going to track. That's kind of what I was trying to bring up, right?
Makes sense.
I mean, so then it may not look that bad, but then when we go out to take our $10,000, because that's what a good lawnmower costs nowadays. You know, you take those $10,000 lawnmowers out there now to upkeep that, and now it becomes a fucking rodeo on a lawnmower, which is mechanically tearing all that up. That's all I'm trying to get at is, you know, if those things happen, can we all agree to that if that happens, then we kind of reintervene this thing and talk about it.
And can we specifically write that down? I mean, can we put it down on a piece of paper where that we have the agreement is, hey, we're gonna do this for you, and you are going to do this for us, and not that I don't trust, but you know, I would like to have those kind of agreements written down, like you were talking about with the ordinances, where you can't find them 6 months from now, or 3 months from now, or a year from now, when we have these discussions. I would like for us to be able to go back to a piece of paper and say, this is what we said.
I don't know. I mean, do y'all see where I'm coming from?
Absolutely.
Because this is ground that's never had travel trailers. I mean, it had some trucks and boats in it 4 years ago, and it was a mess. I went out there myself with my little Kubota tractor, and I backed her out of ruts for, I don't know, half a day or more.
Right.
Well, I don't know if it helps or matters or not, but I would be more than happy to bring a few loads of sand down to the park, and then if there is ruts, then there's at least sand there that can be worked in.
And it may not be needed. I'm just putting it out there.
Right. It's not unheard of that it's
because it happens.
But if it happens to that extent, and you guys are not happy with the ruts, I'll supply at least 2 loads of sand down there.
And we can put that in there.
Thank you.
I got you. I like
can
that.
tell you, if it does rain back on that point, you're really gonna want some I mean,
Well, I mean, the road getting down there is fine.
the road, but when you go past the boat ramp,
Yeah, but these guys,
I can't imagine anybody.
these guys will never go past the boat ramp with what you're talking
And this is the thing, if it rains like that and y'all are worried about that, shut the gate off. Close and lock the gate, because their guys won't need that boat ramp necessarily. If we got that area over there that we can smooth out on, that's what they're gonna be doing.
about. Yeah, they've got these little
And see, that,
dollies, I call them dollies set up, and they got big old.
balloon tires on
Yeah.
and you know, we go back to the, what if we get ruts, and then the fact is, even though I'm renting the park, quote unquote, making an exchange for the park, I can't keep out someone that comes in there in a big truck that's not part of our event and drive right through the middle of it. You know, so that's, now, if the deal y'all had just now was on the agenda and now y'all passed it, where I could get the park and shut it off and charge it, blah, blah, then that's one thing, but since I can't control who comes in and out, it's kind of hard to control what idiot is gonna drive through the field. Yeah.
Next year, point.
But even with that said, I would still provide a couple loads of sand, even if that idiot come in. I mean, because,
It can always happen.
Does anybody have a motion on this? Anybody got some verbiage to throw down?
I really think it'd be a cool event for the city. I think it's gonna grow every
I
year.
can't make, I'm just saying, guys, I can't make motions.
You always reckon me up.
So, I'm not sure I can get the right language either, but, I would make a motion that we agree that they're able to rent the entire park. And Tracy will do this fee for us, and that's his fee for the park. And if there's damage to the grassy area, he'll bring in up to 2 loads of sand and spread it and repair the damage.
I don't have a problem with that. What may be easier and better is if the city had a tractor to spread it, because I'll be fighting the weather, the same thing y'all will be too, but if it comes down to where I need to come and spread the sand, then I'll work something out. But, and we can evaluate this, once we do this first year, we can evaluate the do's and don'ts the next year early enough to
It's your
where.
motion, sir.
That's, I would agree to exactly what he said.
Did y'all write all that down?
Yes.
I got a second for that motion. I got votes.
Seth Goodman,
Ramsey,
Greg Schmidt.
Jim Shem.
All right, looks like it went all the way around the table.
Perfect.
We appreciate
We'll
it.
make
Thank
this
you, guys.
the best
Go jet ski
I guess
racing.
you don't have to change the,
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
They go out tomorrow then.
thank y'all.
It will be posted.
Thank you. Hope to see y'all come down.
Make sure you share it for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, now we're going to 8H.
Yes.
Holy moly, it's past my bedtime. Holy moly, it's past my bedtime.
Mine too.
So 8H, discussion and action to approve or deny resolution number 404-06-10-2025, authorizing the submission of hazard mitigation grant application.
I've reviewed that resolution and it does look correct. For what it's worth.
I make a motion, we approve it.
There you go.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Greg, seconded by Ramsey. We got
The resolution.
The
H.
resolution for that
for the
grant.
grant application.
Seth Goodman.
Ramsey Lindsay.
Greg Sprinkle.
Jim Shem.
You got 4 votes on that. Alright, moving along. 8I, discussion and action to schedule public hearing dates for comprehensive plan and future land use map adoption. Ms. Ferguson?
So Jacob and Martin is ready for us to do the adoptions. So is the other company that did our future land use map. We have to publish these in the paper. They require public hearings, obviously, with P and Z and council. July is not an option for Jacob and Martin, so we're looking at August. Here's the problem. We have I am going to have a lot of public hearings for July and August, which means we need an earlier start date. Or start time.
Yeah, and I would have put an addendum onto this, which is that there's some changes coming with the legislative session, that a September 1 date is, there's a new law that's going to be effective that will touch comprehensive plans requiring further notice and hearing dates. So I'm saying we have to, I want the comprehensive plan and like what we need to do for this done before September 1st, so we don't have to restart any clocks on this. It's pretty important.
August is gonna be busy too, because we're gonna have quite a few, budget workshops and.
Oh yeah, we'll have to have our public hearing for budget in August. She's got P and Z stuff, public hearings. It's gonna be hefty. So we're
Well,
I've
it's a good
got,
buck.
I've got rezones,
bring
replats,
Never ending zeros.
we got rezones, replats, site plans, comp plan, future land use map. I still have more coming in. Seriously, and I hate to say this, think we need to look at a 6 o'clock start date for public hearings for July, start time, sorry, it's late, I'm tired. Start times for July and August for public hearings instead of 6:30.
and we get it all in.
I don't think we're gonna get it in a 30-minute period. I think we need 45 minutes to an hour.
That's you.
Would it be beneficial to have a separate date?
Put a comp plan maybe, but I mean, Jacob or Martin may not be able to do it.
Do you need anything from us? Do you need us to motion on that?
Yeah, we're gonna have to motion the date and a start time.
I mean, I was looking at doing it our normal council day, just start at 6 for the public hearings instead of 6:30.
So August 12th at 6 o'clock.
July.
July.
Oh, I thought
And
July was
well,
out.
August is comp plan, we specify comp plan.
I thought July was out.
August, July, well,
Don't you have a bunch of public hearings in July that need to start earlier as well?
Well,
Okay, look, read your I and read your J.
she's tired of us.
It's been a very long day. You specify comp plan, so we have to address comp plan and future land use map.
And that's the one that Jacob Martin can't come to
Can't
in
do
July.
Correct.
That one has to be August.
August
Okay.
12th, 6 p.m. Correct? Is that what y'all are asking for? Will somebody make a motion on that
I make a motion, we do August 12th at 6 p.m.
for the comprehensive?
for the comprehensive plan.
Second.
Jeff Goby.
Randy Lynch.
Greg Sprinkle.
Jeff Shem.
You got 4 votes and we're losing
Is
on
that enough? Just one public hearing?
We're gonna
For
have
that, yes, for that subject, yes, sir. Now, we're moving on to 8J, discussion and action to schedule July and August public hearing time. Ms. Ferguson again.
We took care of August just now, so I just need July. I'm suggesting 6 o'clock for July also.
Anybody got a motion on that? That would be, July 8th.
Make a motion that we have that hearing on July
At
Second.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Got a second?
Second.
Second.
Nope. We got some votes?
Jeff Goby.
Randy Lynch.
Greg Sprinkle.
James Shem.
You got your motion second, and you got 4 votes.
And I'll just go ahead and apologize if it doesn't take that long.
She's bringing the snacks. She volunteered, guys.
I think city or pizza was my paycheck, I ain't never got.
Good idea.
Facebook said I got a pizza.
Really?
Yeah, a hefty one.
$30-something an hour. I'm still looking for it. Item 8K, discussion and action on accept Elizabeth Osborne's resignation from the EDC.
Oh, okay. Sorry guys. She resigned, she's got a lot going on, she sent a text message, EDC approved it, and we don't council to approve it, and
When did you do that?
Is there anything from EDC that you wanna
Oh, yeah, sorry.
share from that?
I mean,
No, I thought she was,
P&Z.
EDC, P&Z, sorry. My brain was backwards. Alright, so,
Motion to accept.
Second. Jeff Goby.
Randy Lynch.
Greg Sprinkle.
James Shem.
alright, you got all them?
It's your turn this
Okay. So now we're going to item L, discussion and action to appoint Casey Laughlin, okay, good, like you said, that's what screwed up, EDC board.
Missing an L?
No,
That's
that's
in-
how it's.
That's in her place, right?
Sorry?
That's in Elizabeth's.
Yes, yes, you would take her place.
I make a motion to approve Casey
Thank you.
Logan.
Too many heads of
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Really,
I
really.
guess-
I didn't know you, I apologize,
No, you're right.
have not met.
I'm Casey Laughlin, fairly new resident to the city, and I was approached by Donna and asked to join the EDC. That's why I'm here tonight.
Cool. Well, we're glad to have, how long have you been here?
Moved in August of last year. So we've been in the Anchor Inn for 9 years prior to that, and just moved here from Point.
Okay. Sweet. Well, glad to have you.
Thank
See,
you.
you have a construction company or something, right?
I do, own a construction company called Texas Outdoor Oasis, right out of Wiley. And also own a charter company here called Chums on the Water. We just started last year.
Pretty catchy name.
Catfishing.
And my name is misspelled on that, but it's.
See, it is, right?
It's missing an L.
Yes.
Okay, so it was given to me that way.
I was like, that's not right. That can't be
I'm
it.
gonna say I would've read it right if it's spelled right.
It's LAUGHLIN.
That's seriously.
Oh, that was well.
Yeah,
Seriously.
we didn't talk about that.
So now, I don't know if we can even prove it, cause his name ain't right.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Alright, did we have a motion on that? Motion was made by James, seconded by,
So,
Ramsey Legend. Greg Sprinkle.
Chris Ferry?
what?
Oh, Jay.
There you go, you got them all. Alright, that's gonna take us to M8M, discussion, interaction to approve or deny resignation of Chris Weary from planning and zoning. That's where I was.
Planning and zoning actually accepted this resignation. Chris is going to be in West Texas for the next approximately 6 months, will not be available. So, hence, we are looking to fill a couple of seats in planning and zoning now.
I'll make a motion to approve Chris Ware's, resignation from planning and zoning.
Okay.
Judge Kogan.
Ramsey Lindsay. Greg Sprinkle.
James Shamp.
There you go. We will, thank you. Any future agenda items
Greg doesn't like.
that anybody can think of?
Greg doesn't remember his.
Greg-
Been a long day.
Trash contractor.
Do what?
Try
We already got that.
Oh, yes, I would like
That's all-
a future agenda item to have us review the other trash contractors.
Yeah.
Hopefully ones that will only drive single axle trucks as promised.
Yeah.
It's been a chore already looking for that.
Yeah, we have learned very difficult time.
Oh,
They're
Is that
very
the only thing-
expensive.
Is that the only thing, trash contract, look at trash
Only thing I
contract,
had on my
anybody else
mind.
have anything more around the table, going once, going twice?
They didn't go around, people have to.
Anything?
Anything
Any
else?
future agenda items?
No, I don't have anything today.
Okay, not today, okay.
Trash contract.
So we've got one citizen's input, from non-related, Miss Debbie Carey.
Public Works was on my street about 2 weeks ago, working on the potholes. I'm wondering if anybody can address the empty lots that stay flooded, that come out and pour on Turn Road. I have pictures if you wanna see. Everything they did, it's washed away, it's gone, so. How you supposed to waste the money? That,
So everything that they put
why
in.
can't you make the people that own the flooded lots do something about it? I don't care, install a pipe to drain it someplace else. But, so in front of my, do y'all wanna see pictures?
Yeah.
Or drive down Shenandoah and you will see it. Unless it calls that.
Are you talking about on the right side, if you're driving down on the right side?
Yeah, where the tall weeds are and stuff. I mean, that's just swipe, you'll see it. Supposedly the year before, he brought a road expert in. He filled in the ditch at my neighbor's house and created another one. Now it floods like this across both sides of the road. It's worse than it's ever been. I like to have a nice yard. I can't spray weed killer because that water stays in front of my house. It dried up Friday, but it was too windy to spray the weed killer. And now it's back a river from one side of the road to the other, which brings up the neighbor across the street. I said last year, he doesn't mow. He came out and mowed a section. The hedges are to his ceiling on his house, the roof, that's where the hedges go. There's a burn pile. It's been there at least 5 years. There's goat weed, and you would think you'd want them to do something about that because Public Works has to get there. They'll break you out in blisters, just like poison ivy. It's all in his yard. It's up past my knees. And the neighbor beside him ain't much better. So, do y'all not care
So
what the stuff looks like?
And during this, we can't bear back on.
That's all I want to know. Can't you do something about those lots? Because any road work you do, it don't last. It ain't been 3 weeks and the holes are back.
Thank you.
I even looked for another house to buy, but when the backyard won't hold nothing but a swing set, I'm not interested. I don't know why y'all do that, but
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
All right, so that takes us to item, stretch my leg. Oh my gosh, that takes us to item number 11. Does anybody know what item that is?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
There's your one. Okay.
A second.
Wait,
Ramsey
Motion made by Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Seconded.
Ramsey.
You got